Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to FIDE Grand Prix 2022 round 4, perhaps the most important round of the tournament for the Indian participants. Both Vidit and Harikrishna are in a must-win situation today. I would say, yeah. I mean, for Harikrishna, he's on 1.5 out of 3. He hasn't lost a game yet, but he's playing against Alexei Shirov, and if he cannot win this, then beating the other two opponents would anyway be a very tall order. So that's not going to be easy. So he has to win today. Meanwhile, Vidit Gujrathi takes on Levon Aronian, and Levon is in tremendous form in this tournament. He's already having a score of +2. So it is an important game for Vidit to win as well. Let's get to the game without any further delay and see what is happening, because this can turn into something very, very interesting. Okay, let's get it cracking. We have the board here. Let me also put up the live board here so that you know where the game is heading towards. Okay, so firstly, Vidit Gujrathi opens the game with 1c4. He has the white pieces and he can now serve with any hand. He plays sometimes d4, sometimes knight f3. He even goes e4. Today he decided that he will play the move c4 in the position. Knight f6 was played by Levon. And here g3, e6, bishop g2, d5, knight to f3, and he took on c4. So this is, well, it is not 100% Catalan because the pawn is not on d4. You can call it more like the reti for now. Vidit now gave a check, which is a very normal way to play. Knight b d7, queen takes c4, and now came the move a6. So black usually solves his problem if he's able to activate one piece in this position. Which is that piece? Can you let me know in the chat? Guys, come on. Karan Jain says Levon was 4th highest ELO rated player in history. He's a beast. VD has very little chance of getting. Well, I'm not sure. Because Vidit has already beaten Levon, and on any day, these top players can beat each other. But of course, Levon is in great form in this tournament, so you do not know. Yes, light squared bishop is correct. Rajam Shankar, Arjun Singh, Sanjay PD. No, not bishop on f8, Lavitra. It is basically the bishop on c8, because bishop on f8 already has a good future. It's born in affluence, the bishop on f8. It's like usko school mein bhejenge, they will learn, they will prosper. He will do either a good job or a good business. But the bishop on c8, he is born in poverty. He does not have a way out. He needs to come out from some side. Okay, so that is how it is. Vidit comes back to c2. Now he's actually saying that if black goes b5, I will make use of this diagonal. I will not keep my queen here, so I'll get a tempo. And Aronian goes c5. Vidit puts his knight on c3. Queen to c7 was played. This opening reminds me of a game that was played at some point. Very important game. Am I right? Do you guys remember which was that game? It was an important one. It was played in 2021. Very important game. And I'm going to tell you which was that game. Satvik says, Sagar, are you streaming from another laptop? No, I'm streaming from my own laptop. What is the issue? No, it was this famous game that happened at the candidates in 2021, and it happened like white won very quickly because black was unaware about theory. Do you know this game, guys? Does anyone in the chat know? Not Nakamura Swidler, Mamba. It was, yeah, tough question, yeah. These days I'm able to get you guys. Yes, Anant Krishnan K is right. Nepo versus Alexienko. Well done. Absolutely right. It was the game between Nepo and Alexienko. And here is the small little thing which you have to remember. There in that game of Nepo and Alexienko, the move that was played was Bishop E7. And I'll tell you why that move is bad. Because after Bishop E7, White went, let's say, Nepo. Let me pull up the ChessBase 16 board so that you can see. Here is the game. So here's the beauty of ChessBase and having a live database or mega database is that I put in the moves and then I say search here. So there is Nepo Alexienko and the game has been annotated by Michael Krasenko. And this is what you get if you see. And here he says Bishop E7, an obvious but inaccurate move. Black's main task is to develop his queen side. Therefore, usually he plays queen c7, which is what Levon did in his game. He played b6 later. So, bishop e7, castles, and now d4 was played. And after cd4, knight takes d4, and Nepo had a big advantage because the future of the bishop was not improved. The bishop remained in poverty all his life. Guys, remember, that is very important. Bishop is like, अरे यार क्या है, ना बीकॉम करने को मिला, ना सीए करने को मिला, ना डॉक्टर बनने को मिला, ना लॉयर बनने को, चेस भी खेलने को नहीं मिला. So it is important to play queen to c7 here, which is what was played in the game. And you can see that how Levon Aronian is very well prepared. Vidit went d4 here. And this is the second most played move after castles. Castles is the main move here. And many players have played this. In fact, Vidit himself has played against Bachulan this opening. He has played this against Bachulan. But now he went d4, and this has not been played by Vidit. But look at this. Arjun Erigaisi has played it against Jokstad Martin. So Arjun has played this. Also Swidler, Yu Yangi, Ding Lijian, Michael Adams, and all these players have played it here. Okay. I'll come back here and see how much of it is theory. But let's go back to our main board to see what happened. He went queen c7. Vidit now played d4, b5 was played. So Levon is very careful about his bishop. He wants to activate it as quickly as possible. So bishop f4 by Vidit, and now Levon quickly moved his queen away to a7 because bishop d6 could be played. However, after bishop d6, queen d6, there are some issues. Yeah, I can go knight e4, putting pressure here, and also on c5. And if you were to take, I take. And now if he goes rook to b8, I take. And this is exactly the small kind of edge that white wants to push in these positions. The king is still in the center. The bishop is not developed. If you play bishop b7 and queen f4 and castles, white will still keep a small edge because he's getting both his rooks into the center. So this is the kind of position that Vidit was aiming for. But once again, Levon instantly in 2 minutes plays queen a7. d5 by Vidit. He is still in his preparation. Knight takes, pawn takes. So he has actually sacrificed a pawn out of the opening. Wow. I mean, guys, we have to check if this was a novelty by Vidit or did he actually repeat someone's idea. So here, let's have a look at this. d4, b5 has been played in 23 games. Bishop a4, queen a7 in 8 games, and in 2 games. Nikolevsky versus Kholmov, 1972. and Szabo versus Keres 1967. So two very classical games. Both the games had ended in draws, but Vidit is going for some old idea. You know, it's like this. Opening is a lot like fashion oriented. So it's like clothing. So let's say in clothes, there is often like you have new styles coming in, but at some point an old style becomes the new fashion. Like maybe something that was being worn in 1950s now suddenly becomes fashionable, like bell bottoms or something. I'm not a big style guru, but that is what has happened in chess also. Some of the ideas which were played long time ago have now become fashionable, and Vidit is actually drawing in from the ideas of the great masters of the past, and he has played his pawn to d5. Now Aronian took it. Now the thing about Aronian which I really love is that even when he's surprised, he plays very quickly. He is a phenomenal psychologist. You know, as a player, he will not slow down and give Vidit the feeling that, oh, I'm not prepared. He plays quickly. Vidit goes a4, and now, you know, Levon could have kind of played queen b6 here, trying to keep his pawn intact, but he castled. He played bishop e7. This allowed Vidit to win a pawn. Now the actual question is, where can you move the queen so that this is not a problem? And can you even push the pawn to b4? It is also a possibility to push the pawn and keep your extra pawn. But I think what the main issue is that after castles, let's say bishop e7, white has a very nice move here. Can you try and find it? What should white play? Let's go. What should white play here? It's a typical idea. Aman Singh says, please standings bata do. Okay, Aman Singh, for you, I'm going to get the standings up in a bit. But let's first finish this. Sudhanshu Tripathi, I like your move. Manan Nath Hayes, like Amruta likes to call Haze. Ajaya VB, Shivansh, Ajay Raghav Joshi, 1234B, Samir Sangam, Ikam Diol, Rudranshu Sen, Rajat Vishwakarma. Well done. Savite Chess. The move that I was looking for is e4. The point being that if you take now, then you are still not castled. I'm attacking your rook. There will be pressure down the e file, and if you try to keep it closed with d4, then my knight at some point can reroute itself to c4, and I will have good compensation for the pawn. So that's the reason why Levon said, I'm not greedy. I'm not greedy, or I'm not greedy at all. I'm going to play bishop e7. Vidit took the pawn, and now Levon came queen b6. And Levon has a clear agenda today, guys. Equalize, draw the game, you are safe. Because Vidit is right now the only player who can catch him in this group, I feel. I'm just showing you the standings in the C group right now so that you have a good understanding about what is going to happen. Aronian is on 2.5, Vidit on 1.5, Vincent on 1, and Dubov on 1. So after 4 rounds, if Levon Aronian maintains his 1 point lead with 3 points, it is going to be very tough in 2 rounds for anyone to catch up with him. So today Vidit has to win. You know, it's like a do or die scenario for Vidit, and he has come out, you know, with some of his goods. He's trying to push, but Levon very solid. He's not giving an inch to Vidit. Now Vidit here played his knight to e5, and Vidit is saying, look Levon, your king is not castled. I'm putting pressure on the d5 pawn, and then I'll attack your rook. So Levon says, okay, I'll take on e5. And Vidit says, okay, but now can I take on e5? Oh, but Vidit spotted another move. Instead of taking the knight, can you find what is the move that Vidit played here? White to play. Come on, quickly. अभिनव गुप्ता से, सागर भाई आप कमेंट्री करते हो, डोंट योर नेबर्स कंप्लेन व्हेन यू डू इन नाइट और द प्लेस इज साउंड प्रूफ? वेल, I guess my neighbors might be hearing it, but yeah, it's kind of soundproof. Yeah, like I have all the windows and also. Yeah, let's see what is the move that all of you have mentioned. Yes, bishop takes d5. Fantastic job done by Supercom, Devan, Shaibi, Nitesh, Vardhan, Siddharth, Savite Chess, Satvik, Shivansh, and Abhigyan. So you take on d5 and you attack the rook. So Levon said, with it, okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to offer you trade of bishops. And you know, this is what Levon is doing wonderfully well. He is trying to exchange as many pieces as he can. So with it now, played a very interesting move, queen e4. It's kind of the only move in the position because otherwise he was losing material. If you take on b7, then I take queen b7 and h1 is hanging. So queen e4, bishop d5, queen d5, and now the rook is hanging and so is the knight. But once again, Levon's agenda very clear: get your king to safety. Now, if Vidit cares about a pawn or something, he will be a piece down because black will simply save his knight. So that's the reason why Vidit now took here. Also notice that taking on e5 is not a great idea because bishop f6 hits the queen and then looks at the b2 pawn. So that's the reason why he took bishop e5. And now Levon plays another fine move, queen takes b5. And if you look at the position, you will see that pawns are equal. Okay, you can't take a b5 because rook a8 would be hanging. So he takes queen b5. And now I really want to castle, but I'm a little bit worried about queen takes e2 in the position. But with it still castled here. And now the question is, could Levon played rook f e8 here, you know, in this position. But the question to you is, can Levon snatch the pawn on e2 here? What is the problem with queen takes e2? Is it not a good move? Now, I want all of you to write the notations correctly, guys. Rakshit Singh, I personally didn't like knight e5 and bishop d5 ideas. Once the Catalan bishop is gone, very difficult for white to get some advantage. That is true, Rakshit. But we will look at the position and try to see if there was any other way. I don't think there was another way for Vidit to play there. And so here, the right move and what everyone is saying, and I'm very proud of my chat, because they were able to find rook f e1, not just rook e1, क्योंकि दोनों रुक आ सकते हैं ना, a rook also and f also. So you have written rook f e1. Fantastic job done here. And the right move has been given by Supercom 1234B. Okay, chess is more than fun. Abhishek Vats, Sarika Gaikwad, Rakshit Singh, Om Sai Prasant, Abhigyan Sinha, Rudranshu Sen. The question is, but what? I can move my queen back. What is the big deal here? Well, the problem is that after queen d7, white has the initiative flowing. The bishop is attacked. If you try to defend it with rook f e8, then I can just bring my bishop back, attacking here. And if you try to defend it further, I can go h4. There are some big problems with this bishop on e7. It does not have too many squares to go to. You know, so that's the reason why with it, here Levon, being very careful, decided to play rook f e8 in this position. But now Vidit played his bishop back to c3. And guys, this is the position on the board. We have this as the live board. Vidit has 40 minutes. But 21 moves have been played. So 19 moves in 40 minutes is a doable thing. Levon, as always, you know, the bigger the stakes, Levon simply rises up to the occasion and plays as fast as he can. Just no nerves there for him. But right now, it seems like white has a small edge. Can anyone tell me why does white have a small edge in this position? What is the reason for that? What is the reason? Mamta Kumawat says, what after rook f e8, rook takes a6? You mean here, Mamta? Rook f e8, rook a6? But then I just take, right? Queen a6. How does that work? Okay, let's see what are the reasons that you guys are giving. First of all, queen in the center, Rishabh Kutti, that makes sense. Nice bishop, says Vardhan Dongre. I like your answer, Vardhan. Easy Kitchen says activity. Yes. What else? More pawn islands and less pawn islands for Vidit, more for Levon. So that is an answer given by Sovan Ghosh. You see, this is one island, it's alone. This is another island, alone. These three are one more island, so totally 3 islands in this position, while white has 1 and 2. So the lesser the islands, the more chances that you can attack those weaknesses here. Okay. By the way, get one thing absolutely clear in your head, that queen e2 is not going to work at all, because now I go rook fe1 and after queen g4, I'm giving you exactly 5 seconds to find the answer. What is the move in this position for white? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Guys, have you written the answer? Let me see how many of you are able to. Wow, super quick. Who are these super quick people? Supercomp is like a super comp, yeah. Yashas Subramanya, chess is more than fun. Gauran Sharma, Sarika Gaikwad, Samir Sangam, HD Rajput, Shaibi Binod, Senthil Amutan, and Sambit Bishi. The move here is rook takes e7. If you take back, the rook on a8 is hanging, so you can't do that. So that's the reason why Levon can literally not touch that pawn. You know, it is very dangerous. So he pushes his pawn to a5 here, and now Vidit has to decide how to continue. You know, there are a few ideas that Vidit has. First of all, maybe just centralize the rook. Second idea, don't move this rook. Yeah, now this rook is doing great job attacking here. Second is, can we start pushing the pawn on e4? You know, getting more space. Is that a possibility? Well, maybe it is. So for now, guys, the game, you know, one of the biggest things in chess against a top level player is to get a position that where you can push. That is the difficult part in chess, because most of these players, they are so well booked up that they are unable to, you know, they are unable to kind of, you can't get an advantage against them. So here what Vidit has got is already a small edge, and he can continue the game for many moves. Now when you can do that, then the nerves come into the picture, some mistakes here, tiredness, all of this can happen. e3 has been pushed by Vidit here, and now Levon is thinking maybe he can get his rook to d8 as a move. But then the a5 pawn would be weak. You can get rook f d8. Then you ask yourself, why did I play rook f anyway here? Rook f e8. Then anyway I had to move. So a4 looks like the most natural move and the move that Levon will play here. And Vidit has a small advantage because of all the reasons that you guys quoted. Good bishop, centralized queen, lesser pawn islands, more weaknesses for black. But all in all, it's not like a winning or a big advantage. It's a very tiny edge, and it can just fizzle out in any, like in a couple of moves, it can just fizzle out. But Vidit has to play very carefully. I always call these advantages like keeping that flame of your lamp going on in a place where there is a lot of wind. So you have this lamp in your hand, you're walking, you have your hands around it, there is wind coming from here, and you're like, no, I'll not let it up. And then suddenly there comes a place where there's no wind, and then the lamp grows bigger. And that is what Vidit is trying for. He needs to keep the advantage flowing here. Okay, let's go to the next game that we have to see here. That is between Supercom says, can you tell why Vidit played e3? I didn't understand because the pawn is not hanging. I agree with you, Supercom, but maybe Vidit felt that let's secure the pawn. But perhaps there was no need. Yeah, you could have gone rook fd1, or the other move could have been rook a2 with the idea of doubling down the a5. You know, that is how it could be. Rakshit says, if I was white, I would have played rook a3 and rook fa1. Exactly, Rakshit. That is quite possible. Just that rook a3, you have to be careful of c4 and bishop a3 ideas. But maybe it's not a big deal. Right now, you can't play anyway c4 because the queen is hanging. Oh, although, by the way, before we move forward, Rakshit has said that he did not like this knight e5 idea because then it exchanged the pieces. And maybe you are right, Rakshit. Let's say if I played castles here, that could have been possible because queen takes b5 is taking a bit of too much of risk in the position. And I want you to find an epic move here. Let's see if, guys, you can find it. An epic move in this position. I think 10 people cannot find this move. Let's see. I doubt my chat this time. I think, guys, 10 people finding this move is not possible. Oof. Vaibhav Dubey, Bhavish Radhan. How come? HD Rajput, Vivek Tomar, Major Chess, Abhignan Sin, Shubhi Gupta, Ayush Ganguly, Narendra Pandey, Vai Dharav Rick Bose, Yash Kant. So many people have given the answer. Unbelievable. Look at this, guys. Chat chess moves is filled with this move b4. How did you guys even find it? It's such a great move. The point is the king is still in the center. Pieces are undeveloped. So I want to open up the position. If you take with the queen, then I can get my rook here. I think that is one idea. Or also I can get knight h4 to f5. That is possible. The other point is if you take on b4, then I will play knight d4 attacking this and knight to c6. So it was a very tough move, guys. It's a very tough move in the position, but well spotted by all of you. So knight e5, maybe, yeah, like knight e castles. I think black would have also castled here. And then I think you could play knight g5, threatening a checkmate here on h7. Bishop takes g5, bishop takes g5, and bishop b7. Maybe this is a position worth playing. You are a pawn down, but you have the bishop pair. So I get your point, guys, that maybe knight e5 was a bit too soon for Vidit because it resulted in exchanges. But okay. Anyway, we've now reached a position where we are. He's pushed his pawn to a4 and Vidit instantly got his rook to d1. It's interesting. The position is interesting. Savita says, but how come knight e5 is inaccurate? Because black has more space, so as white we should exchange more pieces, right? Savita, it's mainly the main thing that I would say is that here it's not more about exchanging pieces. It's more about like how can you keep the initiative going. I mean, knight e5 is not a bad idea per se. But with it, if you want to keep more juice in the position, you don't want to exchange pieces. That was the only reason. So now rook f d1 has been played. Let's go to Harikrishna's game. Harikrishna is today in a must win situation against Alexienko Shirov. Because if Harikrishna can win today, he will reach 2.5 points, which is a good score. And if Wesley So and Dominguez draw against each other, then Harikrishna will join them in the lead. e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, the Italian on the board, or the Gioco Piano, bishop a4, knight f6, castles, bishop e7, rook e1, b5, and bishop b3. Supercom says Rui Lopez, and I think a lot of you might have got it there. I usually try to catch you guys. Yes, Rui Lopez, many of you have found it. Oh, by the way, guys, congratulations to all of us because we reached 850,000 subscribers. So thank you all those who are here and who have subscribed. Please, a big thank you. And those who haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. We are moving towards 900k. It's a good number. It's a Rai Lopez. It's not Italian. So rook e1, b5, bishop b3, castles, and now Harikrishna plays a4, which is the anti-Marshall. Because if he had gone c3, then the chances were pretty high that his opponent could have gone d5 in this position. So a4, b4, d3, d6. It's quite a dull line, but at the same time it is interesting. Like bishop a2, rook e8, c3, rook b8, knight c4, takes on c4, bishop c4, bc, bc, and we've reached this position where he goes c6 and Harikrishna plays h3. I want to see if this has been played before in any of the games. Mehmet Amin, thank you for your super chat, and also Avinash Nagana, thank you. Basically, I have made a video explaining the Grand Prix format, so you can check that out if you are unclear. It is top 2 qualifiers will reach the candidates, but it will be a cumulative score of the 2 events that they will play. So if you look at the final position here, guys, this has been played before. No, it is a new position. In fact, rook e8 is already a new move. It has never been played before. In 500 games that have reached this position, we have had c5, we have had bishop e6, we have had rook b8, bd7, so many moves, but never ever rook e8 has been played here. And rook e8, interesting. It has been played what? After, wow, he was on 121 and he thought for 33 minutes. 33 minutes. c3 here, take, bc, bc, c6 and h3. And now, I mean, what should be the aim in this position? I think white can try successfully. If he can get d4, that would be cool. But getting a successful d4 is not easy. For example, if I go h6, you play d4, I take, you take, then here there is a typical response for black, which always exists in such positions. Can you find it? And by the way, guys, today we have another guest who is joining us, and this is going to be very interesting and exciting. Any guesses on who it is? Abhinav Yadav says, I was your latest sub to your 850k. Oh, that's so cool. a5 to fix the a6 weakness. That is true. It's possible to play. Yes, Siddharth Joshi, Arnav Sharma, Hayes, Rohan Balasubramaniam, Shisha Krishna, d5 is the move that looks very good. So now you have to take, and then after take, black gets the control. So that is not a good idea here. And maybe a5 makes a lot of sense trying to fix, but then you have to worry about the d5 move for black. So not easy here. Maybe bishop e2, bishop a2 is the best move, but Shirov is still thinking what to do. Time-wise, Harikrishna has a big advantage. Let's have our guest on the screen here. He is a grandmaster and joining us all the way from Chennai, Tamil Nadu. One second. Let me get you on the screen. Hello, Shyam. How are you?
Hello, Sagar bhai. I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good, Shyam. Very nice background. I mean, all top players are using this these days. So Arjun Erigesi had it recently in one interview, and now you are having it.
Looks cool, no? At least.
Yeah. Well, guys, I have to introduce you to Shyam Sundar, one of India's top trainers right now. was the trainer of the Indian Olympiad team, along with Srinath and Abhijit Kunte, who were there. Also, he has been the coach of the Indian team, which won a medal at the World Women's Team Championship. He also is a very good GM, had the highest rating of 2550 plus, and now has his own coaching academy called Chess Thulir. So, Sham, welcome and very happy to have you.
Yeah, thank you, bye. Yeah, it's my pleasure as well.
Sham, can you adjust your camera a bit? There's a lot of space above your head. So,
Right. It's okay now?
yes, very nice. Thank you. So, let me just. Yeah. So, Sham, how is everything going? And can you tell us a bit about like what are your thoughts on the position that is there on the board right now? This is Harikrishna versus Alexei Shirov. We are finding it very difficult to understand it because kind of symmetrical. So maybe you can help there.
Yeah, to be honest, even I wanted to learn Trilopus. That is something I can never understand. Especially, when to play H3, when not to play H3, when to play A4, all these things. Actually, to be honest, I study games of all these guys only, like starting from, of course, our own Vichy, and then, of course, Adams, Haryana, everyone, even Shirov. I used to study, I still study their games to understand. As the saying goes, yeah, when you learn Trilopus, you learn some 30 to 40% of chess.
Really?
Because Trilopus is so complex, you learn so many things, tactical, dynamic, whatever. So, and I think it is kind of Hari's kind of position, because slowly squeezing, and I'm sure Shirov will try to mess it up, yeah. But I don't know how. So white played H3, right?
Yeah,
That was
white played
Hari's.
H3 last move. And the main thing was that in this position, after move 11, there are 500 games. And in none of the games was Rook E8 played. So it was a new move by Shiro. But he played it after nearly 33 minutes of thought.
Wow.
So something completely new that we are seeing in this position. But also, I mean, if you look at the position, the way it has developed, it looks like, okay, I mean, what's the big deal? What's happening here? Black is trying for d5, white is trying for d4. I mean, should be okay, right? I mean, what if black does d5 now?
So something like bishop a2, if d4, knight g5, probably.
If here, then, or even knight e5, yeah?
Chichi, yeah, knight e5.
Knight e5 and this.
Yeah.
And otherwise e5 is under pressure, yeah, like maybe bishop d6, but then I think Hari can go bishop g5.
Bishop g5, yeah, precisely, exploiting the fact that black has never played h6 till now.
But if you do this h6 now, which looks the most logical, then maybe white can do d4.
So there is no knight e4 stuff, yeah.
Knight e4. Then take
d5.
Okay, this is a very complicated position. Sham, many times when you are calculating, does it help that you don't see the board?
You mean during the game?
Right now, like you're calculating, I think, but you are like closing your eyes and thinking.
Yeah, true. I'll write. Since childhood, I have been used to blindfold. Like, when we guys used to travel by train, no, we play blindfold or chess, yeah. Like the same set, myself, Adiban, Seth, Roman, all these guys used to go by train for the tournaments. We have been used to so many blindfold games. That's somehow helping till date.
Amazing, amazing. So here, by the way, Sal's the music band, Shaibi Binoj and No Name J.R. Ruben, they say knight takes e5.
Wow.
And if I guess bc4, then knight c6.
Knight c6.
And if de, then bishop f7. That looks very complicated.
But it's still double attack, no? So can I defend a c6 pawn somehow?
Ah, you mean here?
But there is queen f3. Huh? I don't know how to defend the pawn.
So let's say queen c7 maybe. Ah, but then I can just move it back.
Ah, you maintain the same thing.
And then this. So yeah, this is this is a possibility, but let's come back to this game in a bit, Shyam, because a lot of moves are happening in Vidit's game. And what are your thoughts there? Because Vidit is playing against Levon Aronian, and we have this position on the board.
Right. It should be a draw, no? Somehow. Somewhere black plays bishop f6, exchange everything. We'll end up with 4 versus 3. It should be a draw.
So you are saying that black will lose both these pawns and win b2 pawn, at the same time spoil his structure, and that is also a draw.
I'm not an expert. I think it should be a draw because they say this f6, f7, h7 is very good against this 4, e3, f2, g3, h2.
So you are saying that, let's say if a rook endgame, this 4 versus 3, better is to have a pawn here doubled.
That's what I think actually. I'm not very sure. That's what I think with my little knowledge in endgames.
Guys, this guy is so humble. He is for everything he's saying, like, I don't know Roy Lopez, I don't know endgames.
No. Today we are seeing something that I'm not very. I have very huge knowledge, so it's whatever I'm saying. Because I should say, unless I'm not very certain, I cannot say just like that, no. So that the viewers should not misunderstand it. So I'm just telling what they will also know that. Okay, few people have illusions, no. GMs know everything. So I'm kind of stating the fact that GMs doesn't know everything. They also have their own weakness. So that don't overestimate when you play GMs.
Nice. Yeah,
I hope they don't play against me.
Okay. By the way, this position looks equalish, but at some point, like when we reached here and Vidit played rook f d1, when Levon went queen b3, I think Vidit had a opportunity here to fight for more. I mean, he went rook a3, but what is your thought about taking? And take this position. Do you think that white has better chances than what happened in the game?
I think unless white plays e4, it's difficult, no? Because I've still planned to play bishop f6.
Right. Yeah, I will play e4. So that is bishop
E5.
f6, e5.
Yeah, probably this should be. I can't put my bishop on d4. It's not going to happen. So how will I exchange the bishop? Unless I go bishop f8, g6, bg7, that is unlikely.
You want to, your priority here is to exchange the bishops, yeah?
Yeah, because bishop on c3 is very strong. So we have to exchange that bishop. But I don't see a way how to exchange it. I don't see. Unless, black plays very creative, rook a4, rook c4, rook c3, and have that connected pawns on b3, some kind of fortress. But that is also unlikely.
Yeah, it seems like let's say if I go f4, you go rook a4, e5, rook c4, and then maybe I can just go rook d3 also. Yeah, or I may not even be
rook
scared.
d8. Yeah, true. Yeah, it's just lost. I thought some kind of fortress, but no, it's not even.
Yeah. No, I can
close.
stop the pawn, and this looks bad. So yeah, it seemed like Vidit had a good chance here with this. Maybe better than, I wouldn't say like clearly better or something, but better than what happened in the game if he would have exchanged.
But can't he maintain the queens instead of exchanging?
You mean Levon, right? Here instead of going?
No, Vidit, queen b3. Am I forced to exchange queens? Or do I have a choice?
Maybe queen f3, but then a3 is the threat, right?
Achha, queen e5 means you go bishop f6.
Yeah, queen e5, bishop f6, or queen c5 is there.
But you will again same endgame, no? Bishop c3 will just take the pawn.
And queen f3 would mean that a3 is already very powerful.
And queen g4 doesn't work. Yeah, you'll go bishop f8 simple.
Here, and just bishop.
Everything is different.
True.
Nothing has happened.
So in the game, Vidit went rook a3 to c4, attacking the rook. So Vidit played his rook back, and now rook ec8 was played.
Oh.
Do you think that like e4 is possible now, so that bishop f6 I have e5?
But is black also planning to play a3 by any chance?
So why not a3 directly then?
Maybe he thought, I don't know what he thought.
Maybe this is also possible, right?
ba3, rook a3, take, rook g5, you go g6 anyway. Rook d4.
Yeah, this looks very close to equality.
Yeah, it's a matter of time, no? The game ends in a draw.
So in the game, Levon is waiting. Maybe he just thought that a3 I can do later also. So he's improved his position. And Vidit brings his king in.
At least now a3, no? It should be draw, right? I think it's close to draw.
a3, ba, rook a3, rook
have to
a3,
take
bishop
a3.
Any chance here, Shyam? Have you ever seen something here where white can press or something?
In blitz games, yes, definitely. But not in highest level. I mean, white has to go g4 at some point, yeah? Typical move in this structure. First to play g4, then play h4, h5.
Why would you say first here and not first h4?
Okay, in this portion, it doesn't matter. Black cannot play h5 anyway. But, it's principled. At least, at least from my experience, even in sleep, I think white has to play g4 before playing h4, h5, not allowing black to play h5.
Because h4, h5 means you can no longer gain space. But if you go g4, then you can kind of cramp these 3 pawns with one.
Precisely. Yeah. And then h4, h5. So.
By the way, Levon has pushed his pawn to a3.
Should be a draw. I think matter of time only.
Yeah.
And he's having more time on the clock, no?
Levon has 1 hour 8 minutes. Vidit has 35. But it's not a big thing because it's 40 moves. There are only 13 more moves to make. 27 moves are done.
Okay. Yeah, it's a draw only. I don't see.
Yeah. Okay. So this game most likely, as Shyam says, will end in a draw. And also Harikrishna versus Shirov is a very oh, by the way, what we discussed has just happened.
Yeah, I mean, something wrong with them or something. We are doing something great.
because Shirov did go d5. We went back. He did play bishop d6, and Harikrishna has played bishop g5.
Unbelievable.
And you thought that d5 now is weak, yeah? So
I think Shirov yet to win a game, right? He drew one, he lost.
Yeah, he's drawn one game and he's lost 2 games. So he's on half point. Hari is on 1.5. I think for Harikrishna, winning this is a must. If he doesn't beat Shirov, then it'll be very difficult to beat both Vasiliso and Dominguez.
Both with black, huh?
No, he has had black with Dominguez yesterday. So he will have 1 white. And with Wesley, he will be black.
Dominguez, I think he can still. I think he has already scored against Dominguez. That too, if I'm not wrong.
Opposite color, no?
Yeah, it was close to draw. Yeah, it was close to draw. He kept pushing. Sveshnikov, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dominguez cast. Yeah, but this is an important chance for Hari.
Yeah,
so what does Shirov want? Let's try to think like Shirov. Some fire. How to bring the fire? Come on, let's bring some fire. H6, take, ed5.
Oh, h6, you just want to give that pawn up, yeah?
I mean, I'm trying to think like fire, Mr.
Then
Fire,
maybe you can do this, like
ED5.
take, and now bishop b7, fire like this.
Yeah, that's what I was intending. But
But
there is
take
always
knight
take.
d2.
Yeah, that's what take 92 and white is completely. I don't know. E4.
I was thinking queen g6 and f5 maybe, or there's no
Typical
f5
Shiro.
because
Yeah, you can move the king and do some masti. Or maybe rook
so
b2. Yeah.
so
Rook b.
according to Sham, guys, Sham is thinking like the player, he's not thinking ki what is, and this is one thing which is very amazing about Sham, and I've seen so many people who have worked with him have always said this about Sham, that engines might say that this position is better for one side, but Sham always looks at the practical side of things, right, Sham?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And how did you develop this attitude? Like, was it through, because nowadays everyone is like, engine is so strong. How can you even think anything against it? If the engine says better, I'm not playing that line.
But yeah, we are not playing against engine, no, and we are playing whom we can beat actually. And another reason how it got cultivated because I grew up studying games of Shirov, Alikain, Karas, who from move 3, move 4, they sacrifice something, play for long-term initiative. I have studied so many, even Bronstein, Neshmati, the list goes on. I have studied more than 10, 20 classical games, like more than 100 games of each player. So
Oh,
somehow the dynamics is always, it's inside me. At least I'm trying to be like that. And I don't really care about what engine says. Let it say, so what? I'm not playing against engine. That's what I think.
amazing. That's such a great attitude to have. And I think, guys, you all are very lucky because Sham is going to be one of the trainers or judges, as we like to call it, for India's Got Chess Talent. So, Sham with his chess Thulir. Yesterday we had Swapnil here, who with
Oh,
Chess Patshala is going to be one of the judges here in India's Got Chess Talent. And next one is Sham. So Sham, thank you so much for agreeing to be one of the judges here, and helping few of the people who are very talented to improve. Sham, can you hear me?
yeah, it's my pleasure, and also I think it is my sorry, it is also my big responsibility. Oh wait, am I disconnected?
Now you are back. Now you are back.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, what I was telling was, of course, it is my pleasure to be involved in these things, and of course, thanks to you, Sagar Bhai, for coming with so many creative ideas for the betterment of many chess players. And as a fellow chess player and also a GM, I also feel it is also my responsibility to do such to be involved in such things because I'm a typical I came from I'm still a middle class boy, without any big opportunities, without much trainers. So I know the struggle because there were even the days I used to cry for not having a trainer. I need I was willing to work hard, but I did not have proper guidance and directions. Um so I know the pain of there are so many guys out there uh, who are willing to work hard and they are also ambitious, but they they may not afford. So I always know it's my big social responsibility to do these things.
That's
So
so
thanks to
amazing.
you.
Amazing. And guys, Sham takes his job as a trainer so seriously. Right now, also, you can see, before saying a move or before even saying a statement, he thinks about how it will impact all the people who are watching, how it will impact the psyche. So he has a clearly trainer's psychology. And Sham, you also have a chess academy called Chess Thulir. Could you tell us a bit about that and why you decided to name it as Chess Thulir? And the eye has a nice king, and I like that.
Yeah, that design was actually made by my wife. I kept asking, requesting, or you can even say begging in husband-wife language. So I kept asking. So finally, she came up with 2, 3 different ideas of similar thing. Then my parents, everyone decided, okay, this looks very nice. So thanks to her for coming up with such an idea. And the name actually, I wanted to keep it in Tamil because I like Tamil the most. So that's why the Tulir came. It actually means blossom. Uh, so I also thought, okay, it's nice to come up with like this. So that's why I came up with chess Tulir.
Wow. So it's like chess blossoming.
Yeah, or the players blossoming.
The players can
Anyone.
blossom. Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
that's what I had in mind. And yes, maybe I don't have a big group who believes in me, but there are at least some small people who believes in me. That's why I feel before saying anything or taking any decision, I think more than 5, 10 times actually whether what all impact will it have on them, on their future, all these things. So I generally think a lot before giving any suggestions or advice. So that's why I told myself, let me think and decide. It's not only for the players but also for myself also. I think and then only I decide. I suggest actually what needs to be done.
Amazing. And guys, few of you will be lucky, those who will get selected in India's Got Chess Talent, to work with Shyam and he'll help you improve. And we're very much looking forward to it, Shyam. Thank you so much for this. By the way, how can people follow Chess Thulir? Can they go somewhere and does it have an Instagram page or something?
Yeah, it does have, but somehow it's not so active. I am made to keep it active actually. Somehow I've been very busy with the training people, Indian team, all these things.
Yeah, he's just
So
all the time working with many of the top players. In fact, today I was doing an article on one of the top players, WIM, Monica Akshaya, and she's worked with you. Before that, I was doing an article on Bharat Subramaniam. He has worked with you. So a lot of talents who have been doing well in Indian chess have worked with Shyam. So very busy with his training things. But anyway, I think it's a good way to go there, and maybe someday it will be active.
Yeah. Again, I told my wife to please do something and make it keep it active. So I think she'll be posting some post on daily basis. Hopefully.
Okay, guys, if you want Shyam's wife to start posting, please go and follow Chess Tulir over there, and that will be very cool. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
So Shyam, coming back to the game here, Shiro has played a very interesting move, Bishop E6.
There is not. Okay.
Generally when this is the structure, I'm very confused. Should we go like d4? Should we take and then go d4? Isn't this pawn hanging?
Actually, what is Black's next move, by the way? What does he intend to do?
Maybe d4.
d4. Okay.
d4 and take on a2. Maybe that's what his plan is.
So which means we have to act. Yeah, we can't play some waiting moves.
Like if you play, let's say, what, queen d2 or something.
Or even this bishop h4 pass for knight g5. I think maybe d4 as you said. Probably.
d bishop a2,
bishop a2, rook a2, bishop c5 probably.
I mean, such positions I just don't understand. Like it looks equal, but white seems to be pressing a bit.
Yeah, I think it's mainly because of the c4 square. If I manage to plant my knight on c4, it is just doing great. I think that could be the reason. And also the pawn formation, a6, c6, it's always coming at attack. The rook on b8, it's a kind of illusion, I think, at least from the games what I have played. It is an open file, but it is not doing much actually. And that too, if you plant our knight on c4, it is not doing anything. So that's what I think. I mean,
right. Chess Donkey in the chat says, can we go d4 here?
Yeah, typical reaction. But I think Black has to play d4. Knight e5. e5 or what? D5.
Can we take here?
Yeah, it has many choices, no? The fire has come, I think.
Yeah, this looks, I mean, the game started off slowly, but I think after d4 here, it will get really messy. Because, okay, I'm going to ask the chat one question. After e takes d4, how does white get an advantage here? Guys, try to think and write down the moves here. And Siddharth Ranadev, thank you for putting in the Instagram link of Chess Thulir. Guys, you can go and check it out.
Oh, so much hard work he has taken. Thank you.
Yes, guys, you are right. E5 is the correct
Wow.
move, and so many of you have got it absolutely right. The ones who have got it right: Manan, Maya, Mistadam, Chess Donkey, Rishabh Kuti, Manas Chaudhary, Anirudh V, Samarth, Sals, Sahil. So E5 would mean that you will here lose a piece. So you can't take. And it's not easy to decide what to do, because after D there is this very strong move, Rook E4, putting pressure on E5, and not so simple to even realize what to do here, Sham.
Yeah, I was trying to force things, like I was thinking bishop a2, rook a2, h6, but I think it is not working. Yeah, bishop f6, queen f6, d e5. If bishop e5, I think either queen e1 or queen e2 or rook e. I think queen e1, yeah, or queen e2.
What is the difference between both these moves?
I thought if rook a e2, black has rook e d8, getting away from the pin.
Ooh.
And
Queen E2 is bad, yeah, because
rook
check.
b1. Yeah, rook b1, knight e1, unnecessary stuff. So that's why I thought queen e1 is
Awesome, man. Awesome.
stronger.
Absolutely right. And this is hanging and it's completely winning. Well done. It's a very good tactical position for pin.
All right, queen e1. Do I have queen g6?
But what if I take?
No, rook e5, yeah. I thought rook b1, but rook e8, king h1, too many pieces.
Yeah. You'll have two rooks and a knight for a queen.
Yeah, it's just lost.
Okay, so Harikrishna here now thinking whether to go d4 or not. And meanwhile, we'll quickly check Vidit's game. And then I will play a small game with you, Sham. Did you see yesterday when Swapnil was here by any chance?
No, I had missed
Very
it.
good.
Yesterday was Sunday, no?
Yeah.
So why chess?
So Sunday, what is your plan? Like, what do you do?
Family man, no?
Family man.
I spend time with my daughter. I try to minimize my classes
Wow.
on weekend.
Amazing. So Sunday is like full time with family. How old is your daughter?
She's like 1 year and it's like second month it's going on.
Wow. I think all GMs have daughters now. Yeah, like you have a daughter, Swapnil has a daughter. So I think Indian chess may have soon very strong women players.
Even Ganguly Bhaiya, yeah, he also is blessed
Surya
with a daughter.
Ganguly, of course.
Yeah.
Arya, Shreyasi. What's your daughter's name?
Megha Shri.
Megha Shri.
Yeah, Megha Shri. Yeah.
Nice. So, we can expect a lot of girl talent in the future. But here, coming to this position, Sham, I think Levon has got it under control.
Yeah, just a draw, handshake.
How about King D2 and trying to win this pawn?
Take H5, yeah, draw.
Take
H5.
H5, Rook D4.
Should be a draw, no?
I mean, you are saying that it's okay. Let's just go into this endgame. And
yeah.
Okay, I mean, it's like with it is pawn up, but it's a simple draw.
Right. Simple at that level. For them, it's simple draw.
Is there any rule that people should remember here in 3 versus 4, or you just keep on moving your piece, like, or some kind of, do you try for f6 g5 or something like that?
No, I think we just have to keep quiet with black defending, because if you should not allow that e passer. That's why they say 4 versus 3 is a draw, 5 versus 4 is not a draw, because just imagine the same position with d4 and black pawn e6. White can create a passed pawn e4 d5.
Okay. And for
So
us to create a passer here, you have to do f4, e4. It's not even easy.
exactly, yeah, it's not. I don't think it's even possible. Even if white manages, it should be a draw.
Right. Meanwhile, Vidit has taken on f6, gf6, king d2.
But this is the best setup for black, I think.
Yeah.
The 3 pawns.
Here. And now it's even more difficult to create a passer, because guys, if you even get e5, I take, and then there's another f7 pawn. So it's very difficult to create a passer. That's why this structure could be a best setup. Okay. So this is ending in a draw for sure. Harikrishna's game is too early to say what might happen there. One small thing, can we do that, Shyam? What I do is, I put positions in front of you, and I ask you to, like, from the games that are there, another 6 games, you have to tell what the evaluation of that position is, and then we will, I know you hate engines, but then we'll compare how close or far your evaluation is with the engine. Shyam is so angry with me, he's like frozen up. I'm not going to do all this. Okay. Yeah, no, guys, this is going to be, Levon will move to 3 points and Vidit will be on 2. Anda Burger says double pawns to weak sunata, suddenly best ho gaya, chess is too difficult for me. It depends situationally. Like sometimes we are in a situation where parents have to be very kind to their kids. Sometimes you get into a situation where they have to be very firm with the kids. It all depends on the situation. You can't say one behavior is better than the other behavior. Same way on the chess board, you can't say double pawns are always bad or good or something like that. You have to look at it in conjunction to the other pieces, because this is a rook endgame where it is 3 versus 4. That's the reason why here it is difficult to kind of create a passer. Meanwhile, Shyam is not here. I think his internet is definitely gone. So let's see how soon he will join. But guys, I'm very excited for India's Got Chess talent, because these top grandmasters and top trainers have been, have really been kind to give their time here to all of us and to help in improvement. So I'm very excited. Like, if I think of myself as a young kid getting a chance to work with the trainers of the national team, that's in itself an amazing thing. So I'm going to wait for Shyam to join before we look at other games. But meanwhile, we have Harikrishna, who has played a move already. He has played the move Queen C2. And I'm not a big fan of this move. I thought that here it was perhaps important to already strike in the center. But he's played Queen C2 here. Rohit Agarwal says, thanks Sagar for always promoting the Indian chess. You deserve a Bharat Ratna. Rohit, that is too much. I think who definitely deserves a Bharat Ratna is Vishwanathan Anand, And I think someday we should all try and at least make some kind of a petition or something for him to get that. Yes,
I'm
Shyam.
sorry. I'm back. I think you suddenly when you said some questions, I think even my internet power got shocked. Itana shock mila to it got cut only.
I think when your internet, I said, like, you have to compete with the engine evaluation. You're like, oh, what is this? I'm against totally, and you are making me do this, and you went away in anger.
I mean, that's what I keep doing daily. So how what difference does it make?
Okay, so the game is like this. We are having 8 games in all, but we saw 2 games right now, Vidit and
Right.
Hari. So there are
Yeah.
6 more games. Nakamura is playing and Grishchuk is playing and Wojtaszek and all of these great players. So I'll put up their final position that is on the board right now, and you have to tell what the engine evaluation is based on your understanding.
Sure.
And then we'll try to see how far or near it is. I'm expecting you to say everything very far from engine evaluation because you don't like it so much. But
Yeah.
let's see. Oh, by the way, before we move, Hari played queen c2 in that position, and h6 was played by Shirov. So Hari didn't go d4.
I think it's probably because black is Shirao, no? That's why Hari thought, okay, let me just try to play solid chess, try to outplay or outplay probably.
Yeah.
Had black been some other player, probably he would have gone d4. I think it's based on psychology, I think.
Right. And now bishop h4. Hari will most likely do that. He won't give up his bishop.
Inviting g5, yeah, against Shirao.
Really?
Shirao.
This looks scary, yeah, for black.
Shirao, man, what fire, no? What else?
But don't you think that age has to do something with, like you become a little bit less tactical as you grow older?
But not for legends, no? We see Shirao, there are exceptions, Ivanchuk. You see, I mean, Shirav's, of course, one of my inspirations, he was 2.665 few list ago, now he's 27.11. In a matter of 2-3 months, playing against absolute top, he reached. That he was kind of unbeaten, I think, in Grand Swiss, if I'm not wrong. That itself a great inspiration, actually, for a players like me, actually.
Yeah, because, recently Shirov wasn't doing so well. That's the impression we got. But you're right. He has gained a lot of rating points recently. So that's amazing. And we are seeing this kind of veteran generation doing so well in chess, like Mikhail Krasenko also at the World Cup. He played very well. So there is hope for all of us here, guys. If you are 30 years and so on, like me,
like me, like us.
like Sham, and you're busy with your family life right now, and maybe after 10 years you can start playing chess more competitively. Okay, so Sham, let's go. And by the way, one question Vidit has drawn his game. That's what people are saying in the chat after King c2, Rook a3, King b2, Rook b3. He has drawn. That means Levon maintains his lead of 3 points. Vidit is on 2 points. And Dubov and Vincent will check that game. Do you think that Vidit has any chance of finishing in top of this group, Sham, with 1 point deficit and only 2 more games to go?
Even top 2 or just absolute
just
top?
one. Yeah, he has to finish at number 1 because there's only one from each pool who qualifies to the semi-finals.
And it's Aronian is 1 point lead, and he'll be having one more white, no, out of 2 games.
Yes.
It's
very difficult. Very tough.
Yeah, quite tough.
Let's see. I mean, someone has to beat Aronian, but that's also a very tough task.
Yeah, but let's hope. Yeah, VD gets into the top spot.
True. Have you ever played Vidit or Harikrishna?
Vidit, yeah, I have played twice, thrice, I think.
Okay.
Haryana, I played once in Rapid, PSPB Rapid, Interpetroleum Rapid. Vidit, yeah, I think I have beaten him once in National Juniors.
Oh, yes. Because you are, 2 years elder to him, yeah?
He's 94, huh? Yeah, 92. Yeah, 2 years old.
And how would you differentiate the style of both the players, Vidit and Hari?
In style, actually, they both are kind of similar when it comes to grinding. Of course, Hari is completely different level. He can grind something out of nothing with his experience and talent. And when it comes to slight dynamics, I think Vidit has become slightly more dynamic. I don't know. I'm just saying from my viewpoint. Compared to Hari, I think Vidit is slightly more, little bit dynamic, I think.
So when it comes to dynamic positional chess, Vidit might be slightly stronger, and when it comes to dry positional end games, maybe Hari is slightly better there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. So let's go and check this first game, Grishchuk versus Andrei Sipenko. And we have the position here. What are your thoughts here? What is the evaluation? It also looks like opening position somewhere.
Yeah, but Grishchuk is white, yeah.
Grishchuk is
So
white, and he has more time than his opponent. Can you believe it? That is that happens very rarely. And guys, you can also guess the move, guess the evaluation here. By the way, we have Srinath in the chat saying Shyam
wow.
once beat Vidit in 25 moves with black. Amazing player.
I hope it's not a troll, but yeah, it's kind of true. I don't know if it's 25 moves. I got lucky. I was following the live games. I think black was Caruana. It was in Olympiad. The same thing I played next morning.
Oh, really?
I mean, I was like, okay, let's just go give it a try. And yeah, that's how I won the game.
Wow. And when was this? Which tournament?
It was in Orissa National Juniors. I think Bhubaneswar only. So National Juniors, it must be in 2011, 2010.
Okay. Maybe we should check that game. I'll try to find that game and show it because... Okay, so what's your evaluation here, Shyam?
Okay, General Nimzo E3, this kind of positions, computer slightly prefers black in this kind of thing, but I like to play with white. So maybe in terms of computer, it will be like it's black to move, right? So computer might give something
C2
like
was the last one.
Like minus 0.02, some chances for that.
0.02, okay, minus for black. And right now it says point plus 0.6.
Arey wah, kya baat.
Do you find this evaluation slightly surprising?
Yeah, that one.
Although you said that you prefer white.
Yeah, I prefer white. I mean, I don't care what engine says.
Engine agreed with you. It was like, okay, if Shyam prefers white, that is 0.6. Maybe E4 here or what?
Knight where D2.
I guess engines do prefer this bishop pair, no? So that's why perhaps slightly better for white.
But what's the life of B2 bishop? I mean, how we're going to bring it live?
But yeah, I want to play C4, D5, but then D4 is hanging.
Right, yeah.
So perhaps we go knight B3 and then try for this, or?
But I'm also worried about some sacrifice on H3, you know, Rook D5, Rook G5.
Yeah, absolutely. This is once I was playing with Adiban and he did attack me like this. And it looks scary for sure. I mean, bishop. But right now E4 is a problem. So you might have to go bishop F5 stopping this.
But yeah, there is also queen D7, bishop H3 also.
Yeah. Srinath continues to joke, yeah. Srinath says some of the worst days of Vidit's life.
Yeah. And one of the rare good days of mine.
Okay, let's go to the next one. I would say that you got half a point here because you guessed it correct that we want to play as white, but not fully. Okay, this one is very tough to guess. This is Nakamura white versus Etienne Bacro, and Nakamura is actually the one who is leading the segment here. What would you say about this position? And how would you assess it? Because it's so complicated.
Assessment, okay, I like to play with black definitely. Yeah. Look at the pieces, center pieces are marching in. King in the center, and it's not, I'll play E5, E4, F4. Like generally, in my preparations, even if computer says plus by -1, I'll still play with black. This kind of positions.
Really?
Yeah. Because I'm a King's Indian player, so it's like by bond default, it always shows plus minus King's Indian. So I don't King's Indian Benani, so I don't care. I like to play these positions. At the end of the day, for me, I like to play I like to choose the positions that I like to play. Otherwise, my kya point?
Correct. This is very interesting. And guys, you are getting to see even yesterday when we had Swapnil here, even before that Srinath was here. Today Shyam is here. How everyone looks at such positions in a different way and how they think about it differently. So Shyam, what would you say? Like equal or slightly better for black or
So white played Queen G3, or is it just your move?
Queen G3 played?
He played. So threat is H5, but okay, who cares? Still H1 is not defended. I like to play with black only. When you ask about assessment,
So Shyam is like, I don't assess positions. I just decide what I want to play with which color. You
yeah,
know.
assessment it's a tough computer. Let's see how computers think. Okay, let's say 0.50 plus equals computer says.
Plus, yeah, for white you want to give because you like black's position.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, the engine right now says it's 0.00 because
What
it says
nonsense.
queen f2 bishop a7 is like this perpetual
See,
draw.
that's why I don't trust engines. Look at the portions, how beauty it is. It's so fire is happening. What is it?
But they agreed to
0.00.
a draw.
Okay, at highest level, I don't know. But
Yeah, but I guess I think Etienne Bakro could have played on, but he is like, Nakamura is higher rated than him, then perhaps he decided, okay, makes
yeah,
sense to draw.
I don't think he plays tournament frequently, no back row,
Yeah,
compared to
yeah.
Naka especially. So, and that's why I think he had yesterday tough loss. Yeah, Sipenko, I think.
Bakro?
Yeah, was it yesterday or day before? I don't know. In a French game, this also French. What is it?
This was, yeah, French.
French. Yeah, okay. Mhm. Huh? Same thing they played Sipenko and Backrot, where black was better. I think black lost eventually. He came with G5 today. Typical Moro like player, Morozovich.
All preparation, yeah.
Could be, yeah. The thing is, we don't know how old the preparation is. Wow.
Amazing game. Worth
Yeah,
seeing it
definitely.
later. Okay, let's go to the next game. This is, wow, very, but this one,
Black, yeah. What is? I think black is only better. I think even computer will say the same. The thing is, how big is black's advantage? Minus plus, I'll give 2, 1.5 to 2.
2.
Ah,
Okay, and the right answer is
kitna?
6.
Minus plus 6,
Minus plus
It's game over.
because the knight is coming to d3 and it looks very scary. So
Just, yeah, d5, bishop c5 is also coming. Just lost.
yeah, so Fedosiev making short work of Oparin today, and he's beaten him twice now. That's the most amazing thing.
Wow.
Don't know how he landed in such a difficult, because this looks equal.
A similar thing happened between Svitler and Carlson. Similar stuff, where Carlson won the game.
Wow. Would you have ever played h4 here, Sham? It looks great, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe he's in desperate to win. Yeah, Oparin. That's why. Had this been the first round, I don't think he would have been playing like this.
Yeah. King d1. Yeah, true.
Yeah, I think it's a sign of pure desperation. I think.
He got outplayed. Okay. Let's go to the next game.
I get half point for this.
Yes. I would even give like half. Yeah, half would be correct because you got the evaluation right. That it's black is better, almost winning, but a little bit. So 1 out of 3 right now.
Wow.
Okay, this is easy, yeah, for you.
Definitely plus equals 0.5 to 1, definitely. It's
okay. Plus equals 0.5 and Shyam is absolutely right. It's plus equals 0.4. So you get full point here. Amazing. You see, if positions are like kind of well known, like IQP, blockaded, knight
It's
here,
easy.
it's easy because you have
Yeah.
already studied it at some point.
Yeah. There's one favorite game of mine, especially, Ivanchuk versus Aronian. Like, for example, it will be like rook A1 and C3, I think. From that, C3 will come to C1, C1 will go to D1. He will voluntarily give over the C file to Aronian, where Black will have control over C file for 3 to 4 moves. Then he will take over the C file and he'll win the game. That is one of my all-time favorite games in this uh, IQP. I mean, I can never forget that.
It is
And
Ivanchuk is white.
yeah, Ivanchuk, Aronian.
Do you remember when it happened or?
I don't know. Is it Linares 2007? But I was watching it live. It can't be 7. Yeah, maybe 7 also.
I think Sham, one of the things I've seen a lot in you is that you love watching live games, and then
Yeah,
if you
I'm
get
so
a
addicted.
new idea, you immediately want to incorporate in your own life. It's I mean in your own play.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I didn't. Again, I don't care. Even if it's the first time I play such an opening or variation, I just still go and play. I'm so addicted to it. Watching live games and playing.
Because sometimes people think, okay, I've seen the game today, I need some time to prepare, I'll play it maybe after one tournament or something. But you are like, okay, I saw it, I can play it even tomorrow.
Yeah, because ideas keeps coming new day by day, and also one more thing is, I kind of play many openings, so I don't care revealing whatever it is. And to be honest, I don't have great preparation also. It's like I have to survive with this. Whatever other guys play, I'll just play the same. So
But this is really nice. And does that also translate into your, let's say, working things, like when you're working now for in other spheres as a coach, or even in your academy? Do you take such decisions like very quickly and stuff like that?
yeah, definitely. If I see some good idea, I will immediately share that game and to my students, and I'll ask them to prepare that. Um and of course, the same game cannot be given to several players. Like few players may not like to play such kind of positions. So I know the players' style and preferences. Based on that, I'll just ask them to analyze that game in depth. And for example, this kind of position, I'll ask them to study as many games as possible. Like as I said, Ivanchuk Aronian, there are so many games that comes to my mind. So many games of Karpo, Karchnai, Karpo, so many games. So I'll just tell whatever comes in a flow.
Wow, amazing. And by the way, I tried to find this game which you are talking about, and not this one, but it is actually, one second.
So was I right with what I had said?
Yes, yes, you are absolutely right. And that was amazing what you just said. Because this is the game, it's annotated by Mihail Marin. Sure, you are here. Yeah. And guys, look at this. Look at Sham's memory, because he remembered it very clearly. As he said, take, bishop e2, bishop b7, rook c1, take on c5, take, and now he took with the rook. So our natural reaction would be rook c1, but then rook fc8, right? So he went rook back. And this was a surprise to you.
Yeah, exactly. Precisely. Yeah. I'm like, you're voluntarily giving over the only open file to the opponent. It's not easy.
Wow.
Not at all easy.
And then rook d1, rook c2, bishop b5, b1, and even this is nice, no? That he got his bishop like this.
So a4, b3. Yeah. I think he'll play king h2, king g3 something. No, I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, these are great ideas to remember, because once you see them, you are like, yeah, you might try it in your games.
Yeah. And this kind of ideas we will not forget. If you see once,
yes,
we may forget the tournament or sometime plays, but when was this played? Was it Linares 7?
2007, you're right.
7, I was right. Okay.
Linares.
Yeah, I mean, I must have seen this game more than 1,000 times at least. I mean, simply great game.
Wow, what a game. Enjoyed it. and I think no one here is going to forget it, especially not me. And I'm going to tell everyone to study it next time such a position comes.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is, you are right. So your score is now 2.5 out of 4.
Wow, not bad. Huh? Can
Not
he play
bad.
queen b4? Is it too much? Yeah, queen b4, queen b4, a b4.
This
Not necessary.
reminds me of the game we had once looked at. It's the best move, by the way, Sham. Queen b4. Yeah.
Ah.
Take. Do you remember we were in Varna in Bulgaria, and at that point Anand versus, I think it was
Carlson Anand.
Anand.
Carlson Anand. Yeah,
Bishop
exactly.
d4, and
Queen
then
b4.
doubling that bishop takes.
Yeah.
I remember that game
yeah.
because we traveled from Golden Sands, and we then sat in this living room and put up this chessboard, and we were seeing that game.
And listening,
yes,
good old times. Yeah. It's on the board, not online and stuff. Good old times.
Yeah. Okay, let's do the next position here.
Yeah. Do you get extra marks for finding queen b4 also?
Yeah, I mean, let's give half a point. Yeah, so 3 out of 4.
Thank you.
Okay, Dubov versus Vincent. Ooh.
Should be over. Yeah, it's a matter of time.
Yeah.
It's like definitely plus minus, hands down. I mean, everyone will say it's plus minus.
Yes. But do you think it's like +2, +3, +4, +5, +6?
Plus 2 to 3, I'll give. 2 to be on safer side. 2 to 3. I think it's over. Yeah. What will black play?
Yeah. Then why you are giving such conservative?
I mean, +3, +6 are the same. No, +3 means knight up, +6 means rook up. How does it matter? that's the way I think. So it's just over.
Okay, you are right. It's actually +5 or 6, but yeah, as you said, it's over. That means Dubov is going to move up to 2 points and join Vidit at 2 in this group, and Vincent will then be at 1 point.
He's yet to play Aronian, huh? Dubov Aronian?
Yes. I mean, it's a double round robin, so they played once already. So now they will play again.
Then okay, it's good actually.
So if Dubov is in good form now, he can give Aronian a tough time.
Definitely, yeah, with either color actually.
Okay, and lastly, the last position, Sham's killing it. Yeah, he's on 4 out of 5 now. Dominguez versus Wesley So. Two very solid players. Ooh, tough to assess this, yeah, because
calculation, yeah. What is this? Rook f2 looks forced. Huh? I don't know. Should we Rook f2 is forced. Bishop. Rook f2, rook c d1. White is winning. Huh? No, can't be. Huh? Rook f2 means rook c d1. Knight attack.
he did play rook f2.
Rook c d1. Knight e1. Yeah. What is happening? Vd3, rook d2. I can play rook e d1. Rook d2. I'm blundering heavily today. Huh? So bd3, rook d2, bishop g6, h6. Draw.
So in that position, you think it's equal or any side is slightly better?
Yeah, black is on better side of equal.
So your evaluation would be what here?
Unless if my calculations are right, like whatever we saw, bd3, rook d2, bg6, hg6. If black is Rubinstein 0-1, it's like that kind of. Yeah, equal place. Yeah, 0.425.
Man, you're absolutely right. It is slightly better for black, 0.4 or 5 here. And this is exactly the line. Okay, there is one more possibility, rook e3 here or bishop c3. Because take rook d2, take, which you were saying, this is -2.
Just over. Okay. I thought rook e7, rook f1, rook f7, not on time probably.
Yeah, but rook b2,
rook f1, rook f8.
f1, rook ai, f8.
Yeah, it's lost, right.
Well, Sham, 5 out of 6. That is tremendous. And
Not bad, huh? I'm
yeah,
still in decent touch.
still absolutely, absolutely. You are in great touch. Are you going to play at nationals or something?
Have to think, decide, because it's like 11 rounds. I think it's like 4 days, 2 rounds. So I have to think actually.
Hmm.
I wanted to play, but and also considering my stamina, energy, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I don't know how to think.
It won't be easy, especially right now. But yeah, Harikrishna is pushing slightly here. But Sham, it was amazing having you. We spent time
Yeah.
watching games, doing this kind of position guesser, evaluation guesser that we did. And it was great fun to have you. And I'm very much looking forward to the India's Got Chess talent along with you. So thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you, Shagaba. Yeah, even I look forward, and I look forward for your many such creative ideas. And I always have this doubt actually. How do you sit for so many hours and you keep? I don't know. Do you have a dinner at least?
Yes,
I
yes, yes.
mean, it's like,
I
kya
had dinner.
pagal aadmi? That's my mind, mind voice. Hamesha. I like not eating, always sitting in front of a system. I mean, ayo Rama. I mean, this kind of thing. It's always going in my mind.
Man, come on.
Um,
You yourself have been training so many kids for so many hours. So I guess it's just only natural that.
But yours is much tougher, of course. At least I can at least sit stand when I'm taking session. I can move here and there with Bluetooth headset. You though can't do that also, no?
Yeah, but okay. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm very happy that you have agreed to do it. I think people
Ah,
today got a glimpse of something truly amazing. How a grandmaster can be truly so humble that in spite of knowing so much, he's always like, I don't know this, I don't know that. And Sham, thank you once again,
yeah,
and hope to see you
yeah,
soon.
yeah, definitely. But thank you. See you then. Bye. Take care. Good night.
Good night.
Yeah.
Yes, that was Shyam Sundar, Grandmaster from Tamil Nadu, Chennai, and also the founder of Chess Thulir Chess Academy. As he says, Thulir means to bloom, and he would love that the players from his academy bloom, and he will be one of our trainers at the India's Got Chess Talent. We already have Swapnil Dhopade there, and who's from Chess Patshala, and Shyam Sundar from Chess Thulir. Two more GMs here, two more trainers who are really great. And then we will begin with the training process. And in the end, we'll also have something competitive. It will be great fun to do that. Okay, so let's have a look at the game of Chess Lover says, so lovely GM. Monique Hubel says, what a modest, nice person. Thank you. Yeah, I've always had great regard for Sham as a person, as a trainer. Very truthful, very nice, very modest. And it's amazing to have him. Okay, so what's happening in Harikrishna's game? Let's try to think. Because Harikrishna here has got his rook on the 7th rank. The time is right now 17 minutes for Shirov, 34 minutes for Harikrishna. 15 more moves to go. He's played rook to e7 and offered a rook trade. Now, the question to all of you is, would you bring your rook to d1? Would you take on e7? Or would you bring your rook back? What are the possibilities here? And why is white slightly better here? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the chat. Guys, first of all, what should white play here? Think it's not so clear. Yeah, all of you were mentioning, let's have a look at Vidit's game. I would like to mention that the game is over. Vidit drew his game against Aronian. It was a very solid draw. I would say would have been a very good result on any other day. But today he was like sort of in a must win. But at least, with the draw, he's not out with his chance. If he had lost, he would have been out because then it's very tough to come back. Here, he still has an outside chance. So I've written here, Vidit drew his game against Aronian. Harikrishna is still playing. Let's have a look at what are the answers that you guys have given. You want to play rook a to d1 in this position. Okay, interesting. That is an interesting idea that you want to double the rooks. But look at what Harikrishna has done. He's gone rook to d3. He doesn't want to change. And rook d3 was given by Arnav Kadam and no name. Only two people actually found it. But I mean, rook a d1 is not a bad move, nor is bringing the other rook back. So all of these moves were pretty decent. But the move that Harikrishna did in the game was rook back to d3. And why I think white would be slightly better here. Any reason, guys? Anda Burger says open file. That's a good reason. Any other one? Yes, white has the open file, so that is true. Any other reason? Better minor piece, Mistadam. I like this. Knight in a closed position, no name. Absolutely. Sangeet Dhabi says white has a knight. Well, I wouldn't say white has a knight. That is why he's better. But yeah, somehow this knight is slightly better than this bishop, I feel. Just a feeling because of this pawn, which limits the bishop. So queen e6 has been played here by Alexienko Shirov. And I think Harikrishna will most likely go rook a d1 without much thought, because I think you have to prevent rook d7 like ideas. Sandeep Kulkarni says, I want to go knight h4 to f5. Yeah, that also looks interesting for sure. Yeah, Jaideep Chakraborty, I like your idea, knight h4. Also rook a d1. But, let's say if I go knight h4 and g6, that could be like the knight may have to come back. But true, you have provoked a weakness in the position which can be attacked later with queen d2. But Harikrishna goes for queen e2, and these are these little moves that Hari makes when he's not at all in a hurry. He just plays very calmly. He's looking at this a6 pawn weakness. That's going to be very interesting. Let's see what Shirov does now. Some of you said that Hikaru is actually uh, better here. Let's have a look at Hikaru's game. Is he really better? No, he drew. Yeah, Hikaru drew. And Grishchuk, Sipenko, seems like Grishchuk is. Grishchuk might be able to win this, yeah, against Sipenko, because his bishop pair is really brutal. Also, Sipenko is low on time. They have played 18 moves, 22 moves to make. And Oparin versus Fedosiev, of course, as we saw, is going to be completely winning for black. Maybe knight d3. And Richard Rapport versus Radoslav Wojtaszek. Oh, as Sham Sundar had said, queen b4. That is the correct move. Queen takes b4, a takes b4, king f8, and now g4, knight to e4, and rook d1. I think white here does have a small edge, but it's not very big. And I think this might end in a draw, which means that Wojciech will keep his lead in this B group. It's actually quite big, yeah, like because when you have players like Fedosiev and Rapport in your group, yet you can maintain a lead. That's amazing. By the way, both the games in the C group have been completed. How did how did Vincent lose so quickly against Dubov? It was the Karo Khan. Okay. This line is getting very popular actually. 5, bishop a5. All preparation. If you look at the times, Vincent has 134. Now he's 135. Knight a4. Bishop e1. Knight b2. This is all still prep. Bishop a5. Knight d6. Wow. King e7. Knight b7. Vincent goes bishop d8. Knight d8. King d8. Rook fd1. And now things for long time plays rook b8. Okay, knight c4, knight, oh, g5, maybe not the best. Knight e7 could have been a better move here. And he went g5, knight d6, bishop g6, rook d4, knight e7. And now Dubov went g4, which was not the best move. But, I mean, he could have gone a5 here. But black blundered with rook b6. Can you find the best move here for white to play? I'm not sure as to why this move. Ah, okay, I get it. So how can I make this look bigger than, and that people can see it like this, maybe? You know, the thing is, knight c6 will go and attack d4 and e5. So that's the reason why this move has to stop it. So let's say, for example, if I go king g2, just for the sake of argument, then knight c6 and black is already better. So that's the reason why you need to spot this move. Very important. Let's see what. Yes, bishop b5 is the correct answer given by Mistadam, Rahul Norona, Anukul Jain, Arnav Kadam, Arpit 11A, Bondita Bhagawati, Anda Burger, Yash Tayal, Aditya D, and Mamba. Well done, guys. So now bishop b5 is a very powerful move, stopping knight c6. And now Vincent went rook b8. This is the position where we reached with Shyam. Actually, you will see that the way in which Vincent defended was very poor, because he could have played a6 and then rook a4, and now maybe take, because you can't take on b5. There is rook check, king d7, I guess, take on h8. Yeah, so king d7, rook a7, king here, and rook cc7. Wow, that's very cool. And it's a, as we already know, that 1 2 3 formation. If a rook comes here, it's a mate, because the knight controls these two squares. So rook takes d6, ed6, ab, check. And Vincent, this could have happened, but Vincent went rook b8, and then after this, I mean, that was a nice stroke here. one material, one apiece, and won the game. Okay, so that was the game between Dubov and Lenier Dominguez versus. Ooh, what? Wesley's winning, guys. Wesley So is winning. Amazing. How is it winning? Because the threat is now to take, and check. King h7. What a nice move by Wesley. So it's come up. If only the pawn was here, then I would have taken king here and mate. But now you don't even have time for that. So if you play here, I'll go here, and when you take here, trying to check here, I'll go king h5 with the idea of king g5. So actually, what happened? How did we reach this so quickly? Because we were looking with Sham. In fact, this game is worthy of closer inspection. And if Wesley is coming back to form, guys, this is going to be bad news for everyone because he's just so strong. He's just so strong. 51. And actually, Wesley was doing pretty well in the position, but here. Yeah, maybe he should have kept the bishop here. This is what we discussed with Sham here, and I think he missed that rook f1. There is rook f8. This is a very important move for black to prevent rook f7 doubling on the 7th rank. So here, it's a great game for 7th heaven, yeah, for both rooks on 7th rank. Here h4. No, now it's still white to play. I think Dominguez might resign also here, because let's just imagine if you take here, I give a check, you go here, now I take here, threatening a mate. So you go here, and next move, maybe I can even take this, right? Because rook g3 has king h6. Should win this. Then maybe later I can even pick up this. So Wesley has great chances. And now Harikrishna's game, by the way, after queen e2, queen b3, rook a d1 has been played, and queen b2. Wow. Shirov, trying to exchange queens with Harikrishna, but I think Hari should not hurry and exchange queens. Because if you take, black is doing really well here in this position. So better to keep the queens on the board. What is the move that white should play here, guys? Come on. Let me know your move in the chat. What is it that white should play? Hassan Imam says, "Aako hi aako mein ishara ho gaya." Yeah. Amruta was here and she was like, "Oh, should I come here or not?" And I was like, depends on you. Maybe for some time, Amruta. Joining me all the way.
Games are going on well.
Joining me all the way from the living room. Amruta Mokal, how are you?
Great. I'm great. Vidit drew, right?
Vidit drew against Levon.
Yeah. And Hari is playing, and what is the position? Okay, I have not seen.
Hari has great chances against Alexienko Shirov. And right now, the chat has...
D2, yeah, in the chat it's going on.
Rook 1 D2 is correct, guys.
Certified Genius, Sentil Amunathan, Love Chess, Lim Kian Guan, Ahlat Kartik Khandrika, Yogesh Singh Pal, Bondita Bhagavati, Dhruv Kapadia, Anmol Dikshit, and Chess Donkey.
Yeah. So
Rook 1 D2, right?
Yeah, I thought better to put this rook than this rook, because then you might lose the c3 pawn.
Yeah. Yeah, no need to give that pawn, no? Why?
Yeah, it's exactly. So let's bring our other rook And let's say,
Anyway, you are losing the a4 pawn, so you have that choice. Queen a1 check.
but you know, Amruta,
King gets to queen takes a4.
this is the point here that you should find the best move for
1
white.
second.
Because if you don't find this move, it's like the heart of white strategy. What should white play in this position?
Board to likha. Okay.
White to play. It's the heart of white strategy.
Look at the evaluation. I mean, white is a pawn down.
Yeah,
Direct threat nahi hai kuch.
it's amazing. This move.
Unbelievable. दिल नहीं मिल रहा है यार. Heart of white strategy. Can't find it. Rook a2, but then queen b5.
No, rook a2 is not the right move, but one of the moves here is right.
One of the moves. Okay, there is rook a2, rook d7. Rook d7 seems like you see it and you like it. Knight h4, rook d8. Rook d8 guys blunder नहीं है क्या? Blunder है. Okay. Knight e5 takes नहीं हो सकता है. Knight g5 नहीं हो
So
सकता
the right
है.
move has
Rook
been
d7.
no. If you play rook d7, then I'll go rook takes d7 or rook b e8, and you don't get much there. So the right move here is knight h4 with the idea of knight f5, rook g3 and queen g4 with a close to mating attack here coming up, and the right move has been given by
Senthil Amuthan, Chess Donkey, Chess is Fun, Karthik, Chariton, Pap, Prathamesh S, Aman Kumar, Jaideep, Chakrabarti, No Name, and Priyank Alipurwala. Actually, Sagar, knight h4 is a move like, you know, when you see the whole thing, you consider knight h4 option hai. But to assess it, that it's going to be like the slow thing is fine, you get your rook, knight to f5, queen to g4, and it's going to be so much better. Only because I think black's queen is somewhere out there doing nothing. The bishop on c7 is really a bad bishop attacking nothing. It's amazing, this imbalanced bishop versus knight. Wow.
yeah, and also if you try to stop the knight from coming to f5, then I go queen g4, and now I'm definitely threatening some
Something like
nasty sacrifices there.
Yeah, anyway, knight f5 is still the threat right now. Revive.
So this variation actually makes us understand, Amruta, that after here you can even get this back, but then after queen takes c3 you still have knight h4. My
Correct.
only
The
reason why I don't want the rook back is because
Because
this
rook
can-
g3, yeah, as you mentioned, looks nice.
yeah,
So rook 1 d2 is better for sure. What has he played? Has he played any move yet?
not yet.
Queen
And
b2.
Harikrishna has 25 minutes. Shirov has only 9 minutes. We are still
In fact,
12 moves away from
Sagar,
40.
I would consider one more move. I don't know if I should. Queen e3, but then you have bishop e6. Right. Queen e3 because idea is knight h4 now, but bishop e6, and then again you don't have a square
Yeah.
for a queen. So in a way, Hari is only kind of deciding between whether to give up the a4 pawn or c3 pawn. That's the point. I'm sure he'll not consider queen takes b2, can he? Like queen takes
No,
b2,
no. Queen
rook
b2,
takes
rook b2 is
b2,
fine
rook
for black.
d7.
Yes, but just,
Yeah.
I mean, take,
So the
take
assessment of
and bishop a5.
retaining the queens and getting a knight to f5 is really very strong, is important.
Yes, absolutely.
But it's not so easy, right? What do you say? Is it easy for a 2700 player to
I think for Hari
think
it
of that?
can become clear because the queen b2, rook b2 position is just completely better for.
better for black? Or?
Yeah, I mean, at least white has no advantage there. So
काफी अच्छा deep है, but this is very
Yeah,
strategic and a very nice position to learn from.
oh, but Harikrishna has played rook 3d2 and Shiro instantly takes on c3. But now I think Hari has no choice but to go knight h4.
Yeah.
I mean, he will have to play because after g6, this is where it can get interesting. If g6, then queen g4 and White is putting pressure here, Amruta, and I think
Yeah.
I have a feeling that Harikrishna might be able to just launch a very deadly attack against Shirov's king.
Interesting.
Yeah. And by the way, Amruta, big
Yeah.
news today is that Dominguez
Hmm.
managed to, lose his game to Wesley So.
Oh, then Wesley would be leading. Because,
Yeah.
oh, 0-1? Huh,
Just
yeah.
right now, we have got the result here that Wesley So has won his game against Lenier Dominguez. That's a big news, Amruta, because Lenier is a
He was
very,
leading.
very solid and strong GM. But so the rooks on the 7th went back and forth, and now there's a mate threat. If you come back to stop it, then my pawn is pushing through, and this is losing.
By the way, in firstly, Sagar, one question that why would you say this is a big news? Because Wesley is very, very strong.
Yes.
He had black pieces for sure.
Also,
But,
I mean, Dominguez is 2752 and Wesley is 2772. So it's not a big difference. It's just 20 elo points. So, and Dominguez is very, very solid. But Amruta, this means that if tomorrow it will be Wesley versus Hari now, Hari wins today, he will move to 2.5 points. And Wesley winning has moved him to 3 points. So
tomorrow's game will be critical in this group.
Yes, because Dominguez with this loss will remain on 2 points. So Hari would move to second position in his group if he manages to beat Alexienko Shirov, which is not going to be easy.
So GW Manav asks Rook D8, Bishop D8, Rook D8, King H7, Knight G5 check, King G6. Instead of Rook D2, please explain. So instead of Rook D2 means over here. So are you saying Rook D8, Bishop D8, Rook D8, but King H7 नहीं खेलेगा ना इधर ये
नहीं, but B2 queen is hanging.
Oh.
King H7.
Knight G5.
King G6. This is very important because H5, yeah, very nice
Instead
variation.
Of Rook D2, please explain.
Who wrote?
Yeah, Manav.
Manav, well thought, because Manav's point was if I take here HG, which is very natural, then this is a checkmate. So very well spotted, Manav. But only thing is that after King G6, the king is safe and your knight is under pressure.
Wait, can you still go Queen G4 here with the idea of, I mean, if Rook D8, is there going to be a mate after Queen F5?
Right. But I have checked and I can take with the queen.
Yeah, that's something one can forget.
Oh no, but Amruta, if I give a check and if I take with the queen,
yeah,
then you can take and you can take this rook, which is freely hanging. So here, why not take here?
Queen F5, King H6, no check.
Yeah, it's important. I was thinking Rook H8 is a mate, but you can take it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so this doesn't work.
Oh, Hari went and chopped the a6 pawn, Amruta. This might not be the best move. Because taking the a6 pawn is like, now black might have enough resources to hold it here. So knight h4.
So that's why he went Rook 3d2, because the whole idea was to maintain that a pawn, like a passer. Okay, but still looks like, initiative for white, just looking at the position somehow.
Because he has the outside passed pawn. Also, his knight is well placed and so are his rooks. But however, black will now have active play, Amruta, and maybe one of the ways to do it is bishop b6, put the bishop on d4 if possible, and you should be able to hold it.
Yeah, and for bishop b6, unfortunately, I cannot go rook b1. It's going to be a blunder.
So let's ask the chat why Amruta thinks that this is a blunder. It's black to play. What would you do here? Amruta is trying to pin your bishop to the rook, so you can't move it.
Sagar asked a question and then it was a simple question and then he gives a hint. Very nice. ये देख फटाफट 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 आ गया सब आंसर.
Yes, that is the correct move here.
That queen d2 जिसने बोला है वो 92 मर रहा है. So that would be another blunder.
The right move is given by
Bishop f2, ChessBase Fun, Mr. Adam, Gauran Sharma, Poonam K, Kunal Shah, Shardul Silswal, Riyan MD, JW Manav, Karan Yogi, and Srirang S. Bishop f2. पिन वाली चीजें फटाफट देख लेती है चैट.
yeah. By the way, guys,
सर तुम अगर
just
ये
want to
देखिए
explain this concept here, that you know this 3 pieces in one line is a pin, but when that same piece moves away, that pin gets converted into a discovered check and you lose material. And all of these basic tactics are very important to learn, and I would suggest to you guys that the first link in the description, please check it out. Today is the last day for the discount on chess course books by Praful Zaveri, who has put up, and it's a huge discount that we had since the inaugural offer on 26th. Chess course is a comprehensive curriculum to learn chess, and you can see that you can learn right from scratch about chess, like how the pieces move, and then go on to learn so many different things right up to end games, tactics, and everything. It comes in this very nice box because now there is not just one workbook but also 7 workbooks. So you work with the main book and then you also have the workbooks. So that way, Praful Zaveri, he's an Indian author, and he has put in his life of work into this. From 1990s he was working on this. Here is a very nice picture of him with Praveen Thipse, India's 3rd grandmaster, and this is where you can get those books on ChessBase India and check it out. I think it would be, if you are looking for a perfect curriculum, right from how to checkmate with pieces, what are the different types of mates, what are the different tactics, end games, then this is a book that you should have. Okay, going back to the game, Amruta.
Shashank, no, roundup is not yet done. The game is still going on. Yes, let's just go.
Oh, by the way, he goes G6, Amruta.
Yeah.
Here.
Oh, it's not necessary to go G6, right? Why would he do that?
No.
Oh, that too, 15 minutes difference now on the clock, but does it matter or not? I think we'll realize as we come closer to the move 40th.
Yeah.
By the way, Sanay asked, hey Sagar, was the VD game a must win? If not, could you explain the method to qualify for the candidates?
Not for the candidates yet, for the semi-finals here, because firstly, in order to reach candidates, you need to score well in 2 events in the Grand Prix, that is this one and the next one that they will play in Serbia. So right now for Vidit to reach semi-finals, he needs to top his group, and in his group right now Levon is on 3 points, Vidit is on 2 points, Dubov is on 2, and Vincent is on half. So Vincent is on 1. So the main thing that Vidit has to hope is either Dubov or Vincent beat Aronian, and Vidit is able to win both his games against Dubov and
so there's still chance.
There's still chance, yes.
Yes, that's a good thing.
Hiren Patel says, nice to see you two together.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hiren.
So Sagar, over here, he has played the move G6, and now let's say White tries to play a natural move like Rook D7. Would it be a little dangerous for his last rank after Rook D7, or Rook D7, anything like Rook B1 check?
or even bishop b6, Amrita.
But
The-
you want the rook on b8? I mean, what I thought is first rook b1 check, king h2, and then bishop b6. Not the best. Rook b7 maybe.
Well, the
Oh,
main
it's a blunder. Wait.
point is check, king here, and now queen e8, threatening a mate. And if you try to defend it with queen c4,
Knight e5.
then queen e5 at least.
Or
Knight
queen
e5
e5.
also is.
Yeah. Awesome. So it is important for black to keep his rook on b8.
No,
I
after
mean, the last-
g6, Amrita, he went back queen e2. I think Harikrishna is playing it a little too softly, and this might give Shirov the chance to make a comeback.
In fact, if Shirov goes crazy, he could go for ideas like f5 in the future. I mean, that is his style, yeah? That
No,
kind of
but
a
I
thing.
think now this position is more about defending Amrita, because white as an outside passer, also the minor piece is better than the black minor piece. So
That is true.
can I join in a second?
Yes,
Yeah, please.
sure.
You can sit in.
Shaibi says, I love when Amrita says, awesome. Yeah. Thank you. So, guys, what is your prediction of the result of this game and this knight versus bishop? What are you here? Do you love knights more or bishops? I will tell you what I love. He's played queen b4. Okay, right now a4 is hanging, so what can white do? Defend it by rook a2 or rook a1? That seems like the only way forward. Oh, so many knight people, yeah? Actually, it's very surprising because I thought in general people love bishops more. Because of Samay, people love knights more. Ayobal Mraki says, hello everybody, I'm from Morocco and I love watching ChessBase, but I sometimes don't understand the Indian world. Can you give me some translation for the words used the most? Okay, that's cool. Welcome from Morocco. Knights. Oh, we have maximum knight lovers here. And Shashank says, when I'm not getting forked, I like the knights. So that's why if we have maximum knight lovers here, it means that when you guys are playing under time pressure, maximum people would be blundering because no, ulta hai. Maybe your opponents when they blunder, you might be getting the chance of knight forks. But I am a bishop lover. I am an extreme bishop lover. I think even Sagar would love knights. Okay, he's played rook a2. Vedraj, should I purchase Fritz 18 or ChessBase 16? Please tell. The very important question is, what is your level? Yeah, that is important. Rook a2 has been played. So that's it. In longer time control, definitely bishops. Oh, watching from Pakistan. Thank you, Manoj. Monik says, I used to love knights more until I understood bishops better. Yeah, 1850 on leeches. I would suggest ChessBase 16 would be good for you. It also depends on what your motive is. Like on Fritz 16, the way you can play with Fritz, it's very nice, very interesting. But ChessBase 16, you can analyze your games, you can use the database to sort the games. There is a lot you can do with it. I would say check out the video of Sagar, explaining the features of both the softwares, and yeah, and maybe also we'll ask Sagar as well when he comes back. Okay, Rook A2, and Shirov is down to 4 minutes and he has to make 9 moves, which is fine, 30 seconds increment. If white is able to, let's say, somehow get this pawn advanced, then I think it could be interesting. Black is definitely not going to allow that. क्या खेल सकता है right now? Black, as we discussed, would love to get his bishop on this diagonal. So this is a bishop b6 would be a possibility right now. And let's say if I play a move like rook a1 with the idea of a5, then this bishop sits on d4. He's somehow not worried about takes and a5, because the rook will stop this pawn, that will be a blockade, whereas these two pawns are connected, so it will be not easy for white to convert this into something. Okay, but Shirov played rook d8, not bishop e6. He played rook d8, challenging this rook. This one rook exchange should help white. Rook takes d8, bishop takes d8. And guys, what move can you think of here? Yeah, he played rook d8. What moves, if this is your game, will you think of? Yeah, Vagesh is the same Shirov. Shirov has this book he had written, Fire on the Board, because he's a very aggressive player, and that book was, I mean, all the grandmasters would have read it because it was one of the very famous books, especially if you want to develop your attacking style as well. So the suggestions are queen d2, knight d2, and rook d2 is also there. Okay, majorly queen d2. Yeah, let's look at the move queen d2, because it is a direct threat there. You are attacking the d8 bishop as well as you are attacking the queen, and if, let's say, black exchanges the queen, then after bishop a5, maybe you have the blockade here, rook c2, trying to attack the c6 pawn. Well, if you go rook c7, then you lose the e5 pawn, so you can't go rook c7. So it's a question, what should black do? Rook b7 he can do, give up the c6 pawn and try to gain back one of the pawn, and this should end in a draw, right? So in the game, what happened was, oops, 1 second. Yeah, he did not exchange the rooks. He went rook c1, trying to attack the c6 pawn. I think it's good to maintain pieces. In fact, this is better what Hari played. Rook e6 was played by Shirov. He simply defended this. And now Hari can kick the queen away with rook c4. There is another interesting idea. He can start to shift his knight d2, with the idea of knight c4, and then maybe it is easier to get a5. So these would be the two options Hari would be thinking about. Rook e6. Yeah, it's a very slight edge there, but because of time pressure, I mean, there is some pressure, so you might make some slightly weak moves. Not like a blunder or bad moves, but slightly weak moves, which could be enough to slowly push this endgame. Rook e6. Okay, let's guess what Hari is gonna play again. And all those who have joined late, Vidit drew his game with Levon Aronian. Thank you, Divyam. Thank you, Anas. Yeah, knight. It seems like a perfect square for the knight on c4, as Karthik also mentioned. So knight d2, knight c4. It also feels like that knight has been on f3 for such a long time. It's like वो अपन 4 to 5 hours you're sitting on a laptop. I mean, you're sitting on a chair in front of the laptop. You're not getting up for a walk. So अच्छा लग रहा है अभी. If you know you have to go to c4. So like, because Sagar is not here, and if I have to give an analogy, then this is Sagar, who has been sitting and working on his laptop, and he would like to go for a walk. उसको बताना मत आएगा तो. Well, rook e6. Okay, what else? Let's try to see rook c4 because it's a oops. Rook e6. Oh, did he play queen c4? Ah, he played queen c4. He played queen c4. Yes, there is a time increment. गजब बेइज्जती. So he's played queen c4. इतना queen exchange करने को अभी right now it's almost in a way forced, is it or no? If you take on c4, rook takes c4, what is this double rook and knight versus bishop endgame? Because c6 is clearly weaker than a4. And also the e5 pawn is pretty weak. So you like this position when you look at it for white, but as we can see, let's say black goes rook a8, and I can't really put more pressure here, because even if I put pressure in this way, doesn't make much sense. I'm just going to remove my bishop, and whenever you take this, I'm going to take here after takes. So wait, is that a blunder? Like if I play takes, rook takes c6, rook takes c6, rook takes a4, rook c8, and there is a pin, guys, and there is a way to defend. So how will you defend here? That's my question to all of you. How will you defend this bishop? Dhanush, thank you for your super chat. Okay, everyone's pretty much alert. Nobody is blundering. 1 मिनट रुकती हूँ. कोई ब्लंडर कर रहा है क्या? एक ब्लंडर आ गया है. Supriya, rook d4 is a blunder because the knight is here, and that's the reason you have to first give a check, king moves, and then you defend with rook d1. That's the thing. Well, guys, let's go to the game because some moves have happened. Queen c4 was played, and there was rook d1 check. Of course, this rook takes d1 would be a big blunder because of queen takes c4. He went king h2 right now, and now queen takes c4, rook takes c4. We are at the same position, but only difference is rook is on d1 and king is on h2. Shashank says, I think you should change the color of the text on top of the screen. The message about Vidi's result is getting camouflaged with the background and the thumbnail image. Ah, okay. Yes, we'll do that. Pushkar Chintaluri says, Super Chats. Hi, Sagar Amrita. A special note of thanks to both of you. I used ideas from GM Daniil King's lesson on the Prix and crushed the Sicilian twice. वाओ दैट्स नाइस. क्योंकि एक बार करोगे तो फ्लूक हो सकता है, बट 2 बार करोगे तो फॉर श्योर यू हैव लर्नड इट. वेल डन. ओके, सो rook c4 and now Shirov played bishop a5 here. If you're black, do you think you guys can hold this position, or do you think you'll mess it up? Because of course the initiative is with white, with your opponent, let's say. How many of you are confident that with black ये position तो मैं draw करूँगा ही करूँगा? Okay, Karan Yogi suggests Rook C5, which is definitely a move to consider because it's like a double attack here. You are attacking both the things. And a way for black to defend, how to do that? It's a good question. So a move like bishop b4, let's say, and if you take here, that would be a blunder. Can you guys tell me why rook e5 is a blunder? Always learning is I would not hold this, but my opponent would surely blunder. हाँ ये तो confidence नहीं, over confidence. क्या बात है? I can lose this with white. No, it's tough to defend after white plays g4. That's a nice move at some point, has to be played. I can't even draw against 1400s. Ha ha ha. I can draw for 2 more moves, then I'll go till 5 more moves. Later I would lose one of my rooks to the knight. Okay, interesting. Yes, guys, yes, very right. This is a blunder because do not forget that 2 pieces in one diagonal here and bishop d6 would be a pin again. So bishop b5 was a very tricky, subtle move. Let's have a look at the game. Rook c4 was played, bishop a5. He did not go rook c5. He played g3 here. g3 has been played. And now the threat is rook c5 because there is no pin. So it's like a prophylactic move, g3. We are on move number 37th. Okay, that's good enough time for black. He still needs to make 4 moves and he has almost 2 minutes. So g3. Priyanshu says, ma'am, it depends if I'm playing against 400. I might even win. Lol. Yes, I would say that if any question is asked and if you don't know the answer, but you don't want to show that you don't know the answer, you can use these 2 words. It depends. कोई भी question ले लो. And it actually works, yeah, many times. Megha says against Hari surely will manage to lose. Yeah, that's a good answer. What if rook c5 instead of g3? We did analyze, right? It's... Oh, by the way, some moves have happened. Let us try to look at it. f5. Oh, this is Shirov style. Shirov has finally managed to play f5, but queens are off the board, so it's not so dangerous for the king as much as it would be with the queens on the board. Anyway, it does weaken the 7th and 8th ranks. If you can see, in case these rooks are able to get in some way, I think it's going to be dangerous for black. So f5 gives great chances for white because of these weaknesses. What to play right now? If you take here ef5, gf5, this is a slightly weakness. This is weak. But how do you progress? Let's say you go rook c2 here, trying to attack one of the pawns, and black goes rook a1, let's say, trying to put pressure on white's pawn as well. Here you cannot take on c6. I mean, you can take and rook takes c6, rook a4, and you win another pawn here, knight takes c5. Yeah, this 3 versus 2, I don't believe that white can win this, but maybe there are better ways to continue. Another way is to go rook e2, put pressure here, force him to move the pawn to e4, and then go knight d4 and actually put pressure on f5. After which, like, if black is unable to take care of this pawn, then he will lose e4 also eventually. So f5 is the current position, and white has an option of taking on f5. It's a decision, or not doing anything, like just wait and watch. But what are the moves he can consider? right now. One is to simply go king g2, improve the king position, defend the f2 pawn. At some point we know it is going to be attacked. That is one option. The another option is e takes f5, and rook c2 is kind of an option which white may not want to consider, because after takes, well, I'm not really sure how much of an advantage this is for white. So what has happened in the game? Let me see. I should not be missing anything. Is it the position? Rook a4. Oops. Sorry. Yeah. Rook e2. Oh, we are at this position of rook e2. Takes, rook e2 seems good. Yeah, somehow ef5, gf5 was an important decision, but very, very committal decision at the same time, allowing those two central pawns there. Yeah, Shiro goes up. So now f takes e4 has happened. Certified genius says for sure Hari can grind us out since he's the one pressing. Okay, that would be great. Always learning, are you sure? The fun fact, Shiro was a student of Tal. No wonder why he's playing so aggressive. I need to confirm. I mean, I am not aware. Okay, which rook you're going to take with, guys? Rook C or rook E? Which one? Rook E, yeah. Most of you want to take with the E rook. Rook takes E4. You don't want to double the rooks, yeah? Okay. And then black keeps his rook on D5. Defends this very well. And you cannot increase the pressure here, nor you can increase any more pressure here. Maximum you try to improve your king position, but you cannot even push this pawn. Everything is like perfect for each other. It's a draw. It's a drawish position. I mean, it's difficult to increase pressure, and that's the reason Hari played rook c e4, which is important, if you want to retain the pressure. Clearly e5 is attacked. This is a direct threat. How does black save the pawn? Even if he goes rook d5 right now, maybe rook takes e5. Rook takes e5. Oh, and this knight versus bishop endgame is winning for white. Most probably because of this outside a pawn, and also, oops, one of these pawn is going to be lost. So that's why, anyway, in the game, he played c5. He did not play rook d5. Of course, that is good. So he played c5. Now Hari is winning the e5 pawn. Hari is winning the e5 pawn, and he has a choice of taking it with the rook or the knight. These are the two choices. Again, guys, what will you take the pawn with? Knight or the rook? Knight or the rook? Yes, this pawn is becoming a passer as well, but we still don't know how dangerous it is going to be. Rook, knight. Okay. Rook, knight, knight, rook, knight, rook, 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 knight, 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 knight. बाप रे, ये तो 50-50 लग रहा है. Okay, it's a tough thing. But guys, the best way to continue is to take with the rook. Rook takes, and rook takes. Now you're attacking this pawn. This pawn cannot be pushed because of a pin in existence, and let's say if black will try to save the pawn, you try to improve your king position, and we have to assess this whether it is enough for white being this pawn up. Can you really convert it? That is a question. Let's go back to the variation of c5 and check the move knight takes e5. Why would it not be the best way to continue? So, or what really happens? So bishop c3 is an option here. And let's say, what do you do? Do you want to move the knight back and then offer this exchange? Rook takes e4, rook takes e4, and then this rook goes to a1, putting pressure on a4, so that you have to maintain your rook here for a while. But there are ideas like bishop b4 and black will win the pawn back. So those are the ideas. Anyway, looking at the game, let's go because some moves have happened. Yes, he played rook takes e5. That was good. And Shirov has captured it back. And oops, 1 second. Let me see what the game is going on. Yeah, this is the position. Rook takes e5 and Hari has captured with the knight. Oh, he is captured with the knight, not with the rook, because right now he's directly threatening knight takes g6, and if black goes king g7 here, he would love to sit on the c4 square. Also, it kicks away the bishop, and in future a5 is going to be easier. But is everything coming into a synergy? That's the real question. Let's say I go bishop c3 or bishop, yeah, let's say I go bishop c3 here. Oh, there is a very nice move for white here. Guys, can you tell me what should white play here to get a very clear advantage? Yeah, Narendra says, I think Harikrishna will win as he's very strong in endgames. It does seem like he is really pushing this endgame, and Hari, as we have called him the endgame god, I think you guys are right. Seems like he's going to slowly convert this. Knight c4, but then maybe bishop d4. Okay, so not a5, but first rook a2 with the idea of a5, and this is going to be kind of unstoppable. A5, a6. So rook a2 is the best move there. If you first go a5, then there is rook a1 and you will lose the pawn. So like maybe you can try to play rook e7 check, king f6, and rook a7 you are able to defend a pawn, but only for a while, because rook a4 attacks the knight and you are going to lose the a5 pawn eventually. Going back to the game, knight e5 has been played, and Shirov, I believe, is still thinking. Oops. Yeah, he's still thinking. Oh, 40 moves are over, so this is the 41st move, and yeah, I think they'll get 30 minutes additional, so then it's going to be a very long thing. But the move is forced, yeah. Let's say you try to go g5 and want to save it, but then you progress nowhere with the king. It's, even worse placed, and anyway, knight c4. So that's the thing. Shirov, time complete. Yeah. टाइम हो गया है, so इसके लिए I think we'll have to wait, but of course we all will chat a little bit. It's been a long time, since we've got some time to talk. Knight on c4 for sure. So right now, let us first give one conclusion for a while, that this knight is going to be on c4. If white gets rook a2, then this pawn is going to be super dangerous. And if after knight c4, let's say black, 1 second, knight e5, king g7, after knight c4, if black tries to play the, let's say, best moves, bishop e1, for example, And here if white tries a move like rook a2, yeah, still it's going to be rook d4. Oh, look at this idea, yeah. Rook d4, black is attacking the knight. Now, how do you start calculating some forcing variation? This is your game. Let's just say that, okay? And you want to calculate a forcing line. What is the candidate move which you will consider? Let us try to improve our calculation, guys. What will you consider here? Tell me one move. Yes, Karan Yogi. Right. So you want to consider a5, start pushing the pawn. What is important to calculate is rook takes c4, a6. And then how black is going to try to defend. Okay, he goes to rook e4, rook d4, wherever. a7, rook e8. You can see because there is this bishop is not, a bishop cannot stop a7 in any way. And right now after rook e8, a8 queen, rook takes a8, rook takes a8. And we'll land up in this position after bishop f2. So you see, all the time when, when there was no move for white to progress, he was playing king g2, which was a very useful move because f2 kabhi na kabhi attack hone hi wala hai. So it's a definitely very useful move. And king g2, let's say bishop d4 or something. And you can play king f3, g4. This technically I'm not 100% sure, but should be winning for white, right? Should be winning for white, but the evaluation says that it's not. So interesting variation which must be calculated. Right now we are at this position of knight e5. Yeah, I think we'll analyze that endgame again because it is very interesting to do that. And because right now we don't even have a proper conclusion there. Please tell why not knight c6 instead of knight c4, just more active towards the promotion of square. So the first logic of going knight c4 is also that you are blockading the c5 pawn, and knights are the best blockaders, as we know. So when you are saying, let's say a move like king g7 and you want to consider knight c6 here, maybe I go bishop e1. Let's look at the same variation. And if you go rook a2 here, I can just start playing c4. So this is a race which you will have to start calculating. If you go a5, I go c3, you go a6. I can't go c2 yet because it's hanging. Well, but here, guys, a very, very nice move for black. Wait, let me try this chat moves if I can. Can you find a move for black? Very interesting. I'm going to say slightly tough than the questions which are asked by Sagar. and I'm not even giving any hint. So let's see how many of you are able to find it. Okay, the position is equal. That's what they're saying. Both are possible. Yeah, rook d2 is possible. That's what people are saying. And also bishop takes f2. But look at this move. Bishop takes f2. Yeah, you're just giving a piece here. Bishop f2, rook f2. And now you go rook d2. There is a pin here. And your threat is to go c2 and c1. You want to make a queen. He cannot go a7 right now because you have rook f2 with a check. And then you can go rook a2 stopping the a pawn. That's why he has to go like, okay, if he goes rook d2, then there is cd2, there is a7 and there is this queen. And it will land up in a perpetual because if black doesn't give perpetual, he's a knight down here. What a nice variation. So bishop f2 was like a beauty, you can say. Of course, you can play simply also. Either rook d2 directly भी आ रहा है, but show off नहीं है ना. Bishop f2 is more like a show off. Okay, so yeah, that was a nice idea there. So knight c6 के लिए, as you can see, you have extra things to calculate because black's pawn starts rolling as well, and it's a race. So guys, Wesley has beaten Dominguez and Dubov has beaten Vincent Keymer. Vidit has drawn with Levon Aronian. Richard Rapper and Wojciech are still playing. Maybe we can have a look at that game for a moment. Very equal. It mostly should end in a draw. Fedosiv has beaten Oparin. Nakamura has drawn his game with Backraw. And Grishchuk versus Alexienko is still going on with the king very much in the center, but not white does not have enough pieces to really get a crazy attack. Well, so I like this endgame very much with Harikrishna and Shirov because it has a lot to learn. The knight, the bishop, the passed pawns, the blockading, the race. There's so many things to learn. The king activity. Alexienko, did I really say Alexienko again? Oh, I'm so sorry. Sipenko once more. Oh, okay. Yes. But I'm very happy that a lot of people are in the chat who also mix it up. So slip of tongue, jaisa slip of eyes, you can see slip of visuals. So हो जाता है guys. हो जाता है. And ठीक है. So what else? Let us try to squeeze all that we can learn from this position. What's in a name? Yeah, exactly, Shashank. Very, very rightly said. What's in a name? You guys must have seen with its video as well, yeah? It got really popular. What's in a name? So 11:15 हो गए. How many of you are studying for your exams? Because अभी तो February आ गया है. March में I remember generally final exams होता है. How many of you have left your college? I think you guys must have seen Arjun's video, where he mentions that now he has left the college and he's focusing on chess full time. So, how many of you have left your college and focusing full time on something? I mean, not left your college and full time sleeping or something. Narendra says by the end of the tournament, he himself will call that. अच्छा मैं तो जॉब कर रहा हूँ law student here, studied more chess over past 2 years than law. Law student, tell me, is it really, how easy or difficult it is to remember all those sections, under section this, under section that? I mean, that itself is so scary when you think that you want to study law. Shashank says, I want to start studying at 9 a.m. It's 9:44 now and I'm still here. Okay, what are you going to study? ईगल आई गेमिंग से इस कोरोना धोखा नहीं देगा, वो पक्का आएगा एग्जाम के टाइम पे. ऐसा क्यों चाहिए? और कोरोना आएगा तो गवर्नमेंट इज नॉट गोइंग टू कंसिडर कि अच्छा यू कुडंट गिव एग्जाम सो पास कर दिया करके. बट क्या होप है, किसी का क्या होप है? ओके 11th Shiro blunder, rook a1 inaccuracy. Waiting for my bullet streams. Inaccuracy. They played a move. Yeah, they played a move. Thanks for reminding me that. Shiro played rook a1 and just right now when I'm making the move, look at the bar. Bar बहुत खुश हो गया. Bar. Do you guys remember Mugambo खुश हुआ? Okay. वैसे सो बार को अपन मोगैम्बो बोल सकते हैं. मोगैम्बो खुश हुआ अभी के लिए, थोड़ी देर के लिए. सागर को मत बताना कल, नहीं तो आप यू विल राइट मोगैम्बो इन द चैट एंड ही विल नॉट अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट्स हैपनिंग देयर. सो ओके, सो मोगैम्बो खुश हुआ, बट क्यों खुश हुआ? दैट्स द क्वेश्चन गाइज. आफ्टर रुक a1 व्हाट शुड वाइट प्ले? By the way, the last time I had asked to move, 1 second. Rook d2. I had got some answers. Oh, bishop f2 के लिए भी मिले थे. ठीक है, लेट मी सी. Okay. So I have two moves. I'm getting two moves which are racing against each other. I don't think you guys can see it, but it is okay. Let me. Yeah. Rook e4 and knight g6 are the two moves. And we are gonna I'm gonna just take the names of the people who have suggested the moves. Knight g6, Shritu Patel. Oh, Shritu, did you know? You were the one, right, who won the event on Flashbin's channel? So congratulations, Shritu Patel, Hollow Man, Shaibi Binoj, Narendra Pandey, Devardhan Agarwal, Aditya Malya, Always Learning, Gattu Sai Teja, Hitesh, Devala Palli, Ananta Ubare. Okay, yes, guys, knight g6 is the best move, and let me just show the analysis on the big board in a moment. Yeah, back here. So knight g6, you simply capture the pawn here, and after rook takes a4 in this position, what you can do is go rook c2. So c5 is attacked. Let's say he defends it with bishop b4. I mean, he can also push c4, but if he goes bishop b4 and tries to defend it, knight e5 you can come back with. And the main point is you have two pass pawns, two connected pawns, which will give you way better chances. Still, practically, there will be a lot of possibilities for black to hold this, I believe, because rook and knight versus rook is a draw. That way, technically, it's not yet super clear. And if you go back at this point, there is another possibility to consider, which is rook e4, where you defend the a4 pawn, but even black gets the time to defend his g6 pawn, and it's not easy to, trying to push the pawn like we were getting the variations with rook on a2. Here black has the rook behind a pawn with full control, so this would be very difficult to convert. If you look at the game, rook a1, oh, has it happened in the game? No. Hari is still thinking. And guys, for all those who do not know, Vidit versus Aronian ended in a draw. Mahesh Parab says 18 Backrow needs a shout out while he has not achieved something in general sense. He has been always in the mix for so many decades now. At one point, he was a child prodigy and still playing. Yes, I think I completely agree with you, Mahesh. That is really amazing. Also, he has been working as a second quite a while for strong players, and especially I believe he has been, around MVL. When we went to France for one of the tournaments, it was very funny because there in the rounds there was a blitz tournament, and in between the rounds, Backrow and MVL and some few other players, they would play cards. So it completely chilled, yeah. And then those guys also come in the top. It's not like uh, they kind of mess it up, but they also come first and second. It was amazing. Yeah, Anda Bagar says Sagar is never leaving the stream for Amrut again. Yes, but for that he has to know कि बार का नाम मोगैम्बो हो गया है. So okay, so let's see what has happened. Okay, rook e4, king g7. Yeah, it's I think happened on the board, right? We are at this position, king g7. This seems very difficult. I believe, but not without no chances. One second, by the way, Shritu Patel, if you are in the chat, can you type a message? Because as we had announced it, you would become a mod. So they had a tournament mods versus subscribers, and the subscribers, if they win, they become the mod. Omkar says Amrita, the card game is called Tarot. Funny. What about rook e4, king g7, knight d3? Okay, let's analyze the move knight d3 again because it's a direct threat here. And what is the plan? By the way, if at all this goes in a rook endgame, it's just simply lost because there is a pawn. Yes, black has a rook behind a pawn, but your rook is also sideways, which is not very bad. Plus, you have an extra pawn, so that should not be that cannot be considered. The other way is if you go knight d3 and if black goes bishop b6, simply supporting this right now. Yes, you can still improve your position with king g2 first, and if he also plays king f6 here, a nice idea would be to shift your knight to a better square, maybe knight f4 with the idea of knight d5, fork. Let's say black goes king f5. It's all right now, these are like kind of obviously forcing moves, so you can consider them. King f5 if he goes. I would consider a move like rook c4 actually, which, yeah, but still the plan is like king f3, you have to go g4, then you have to go h4, h5, try to create a weakness here. We know the principle of two weaknesses, so that would be one idea. The other idea would be over here, instead of, at this point, let's say king f6 would be played. The other idea can be you don't go knight f4, you just start improving your pawn structure and pieces. Yeah, it's a little not 100% clear for me, I would say. This endgame, you are a pawn up, but how do you start, advancing that pawn? That is a good question, and I think it's a very good endgame to learn from right now. So we are at this position, king g7, and at this point, what would be your prediction? Do you think the advantage is good enough for Hari to win at this point? King f5, rook e6. Untitled says after the school game by Hari, Shirov will write a book. Ice on the board. Ah, that's a good one. Do you watch Shark Tank? I mean, that's the question somebody had asked. Sahil Shah. No, I mean, I had watched with Sagar Shark Tank International at that point earlier. Shark Tank India, no, haven't seen it. Only once, I think, at some point, had seen it. Okay, so let us try to see what else is there right now. Guys, if you can suggest some moves. Knight d7 has been suggested by Narendra. Knight d7, again you're attacking the pawn here. Let's say I go a move like rook c1, wanting to move my pawn. What is the problem? Here white has a very nice move, rook e7 check, because the knight on d7 has actually stopped the king from advancing. And that's the reason the king needs to go to the last rank, which is a very good progress there. And now you can attack this g6 pawn again. The black king goes to g7 again. And now can you play rook c6 trying to attack this? The only problem is, let's say black can also go rook c2 attacking your f2 pawn. As we know, it is one of the weaknesses, and even if you go king g2, there comes bishop e1 and you cannot defend your f2 pawn. So yeah, it would have been nice if white would have got this, had this king ready made on g2, but unfortunately that's not the case. But this is one of the idea that f2 is weak and a4 is weak, and black can keep pressure in this way whenever this rook leaves the e file. So knight d7 is a very interesting suggestion. That's a good idea. f4 over here, that would be very weakening, I think, Sahil, because f4 means you will get a check and king will have to leave the rank and be on the last rank, and bishop will just blockade your defense to the a4 pawn. You will lose the pawn as well. So that would not be a good idea. Yeah, knight d7 followed by rook e7 is one interesting idea which we analyzed. Apart from that, I'm trying to take some suggestions. Best line is king h1, maybe in some other place you are suggesting. Rook g4 and h4 is also suggested. So rook g4 is suggested because of the direct threat here. And if black goes king f6, attacking the e5 pawn, attacking the e5 knight, let's say you go knight takes g6, then there is a problem. There is a move for black. Can you tell me what black should play here? Actually, there are 2-3 moves, but the best move, if you can suggest. That would be nice. Yeah. Yeah, Manan Nath, Atul Gandhi, World of Wit. You guys are right. h5 and remove the defender and you lose the knight. So that's the reason you cannot take with the knight. And that's the reason you cannot take the g6 pawn. And then, but you have another knight d7 check and you can take the c5 pawn. So rook g4 would be interesting, and that's why king f6 is not the best move, because you lose the c5 pawn, not the g6 pawn. The only way to save it would be to play g5. And then this provocation of g5, is it a good thing? That's the main question. Or was black happy with the pawn on g6? Like right now you want to go back, or you want to improve your position with king g2. The main thing is, if black gets this bishop to c3 and somewhere on d4, yeah, he would be doing okay. He would be doing fine. So going back to the position of knight, he played knight d3. Yeah, he played knight d3. So right now he has clearly threatened knight takes c5. And the best way for... Yeah, Hari has gone knight d3. Yeah, and right now black can play bishop e6. He can defend a c5 pawn, or he can go rook a3, where after rook a3, let's say if knight takes c5, even then you have bishop b6. As we know, there is a weakness here to consider. So bishop b6, a move like knight e6 check. You can play king f7, and the idea is rook a2. So if king g2, rook a2, you do not have time to give this check because e6 is hanging, and so you cannot defend the f2 pawn right now. Oh, you can maybe try to block the defense, but then you lose the a4 pawn, so you cannot go knight d4 as well. But you would ask me ki, okay, let's lose the f2 pawn, we have the a4 pawn, why not, right? That's a good question. Rook f2, king h3 and rook a2. But with this bishop and the rook, it's not going to be easy to, push this pawn. That's the reason this position would be very, very difficult to hope anything from. So we are at this position right now. He has played rook a3, and Hari should not take on c5 here. I mean, he can take, but maybe he could try a move like knight f4. Still wait a little bit. Let's say knight f4. I would say, what if black goes rook a2, attacking the f2 pawn? Then king g2 will be played. King f6. Yeah, this should be okay. This should be okay for black. So we are at this position, and Hari is thinking, kya hi complications hai? That's what Anda Barogar is saying. How is bishop e4, knight b4, rook a4? Where? Over here? Yeah, over here if you play bishop b4, knight b4, yeah, we analyze cb4, but the good question is, why not rook a4? Because there is a pin. The only problem is, can you get out of the pin by rook e7 check? And if king f6, oh well, you are able to save your rook very easily by knight d5 check, which defends the rook, so you win the piece. And if you go a move like king f8, let's say, still knight d5, anyway you defend the piece. So that's the reason. It was a very good question, why not rook a4? But it doesn't work. So he has played rook a3. What is the problem with knight c5? Yeah. If rook gets exchanged, we can maybe try that bishop knight traps from that domination endgame book, Vikram asks. Yeah, but here, two less pieces, it would not be possible, yeah, in this kind of scenario. But very nice that you are kind of trying to recollect that with this endgame. Shashank says, which is why he should have tried 3 versus 1 and taken on 96 earlier. I'm quite surprised. I agree. Maybe that was the best practical chance for white, for sure. Something at least. But right now, really difficult. So here if knight takes pawn is the question, why not knight c5? And we have analyzed this because there is a weakness on f2. At the same time, there is pressure on a4. So bishop goes to b6. Your knight is attacked here. Even if you give a check, the king goes to... Okay, one question is, why not king f6? Why not king f6? Is it... I mean, these are the subtleties in the game, yeah? What happens? So this is supported. After king f6, you can go a move like knight d4, and look at this, guys. If he goes rook a4, what is the problem? Why it does not work? What should white play? Why is rook a4 a super blunder? Awesome. The word of wit, you're absolutely right. Anda burger. Chinmay Watwe. Ujan Bhattacharya. And guys, all those who are saying Rook C4 check notation, I understand what you're saying, but effective communication is important. So Rook F4 check is the move here. The idea is wherever the king goes, look at this, very nice thing. Wherever the king goes, be it E5 or E7, there is this check on C6. Yeah, knight C6. If the king goes to G7 or G5, then there is a check on E6, knight E6, and there is a discovered attack. So rook takes a4 is coming, and that's why this is a very nice. I asked you the question one more earlier. Your rook f4 check, and black would have lost the rook. So this pin and discovery. How many we have seen in this entire game? It is amazing. So rook a4 does not work, and that's why actually king on f6 is not the best move. But if you guys remember, the best move for black was king f7. It's so subtle, because here for the same variation of knight takes d4, you can go rook a4. This was the whole idea. Now if you go rook f4 check, the simple thing is that the king can go to e8 or g8, and there is no check with the knight, so there is no discovery. Wow, this was really amazing. Well, so knight c5, we are understanding so many subtleties. So what we were considering is, 1 second. And on 94, bishop b6, rook c4. Okay, by the way, what has happened is knight c5 has happened, bishop b6 actually has happened in the game. Knight a4, bishop b6 कहाँ पे? Knight bishop already b6 पे है ना? Yeah, he took on c5 and bishop b6, and we are at this position. And as we analyze the variation, mostly the game will mostly continue with this check. And important for black is to not go king f6, because knight d4 defends. Important is to go king f7. That is very important, but he will do that. So after and then he will go king f7 here, and for this really white does not have much, because if he tries to save the f2 pawn which is being attacked, then black goes rook a2 and puts more pressure on f2, and you cannot give this check because you lose the knight. So you cannot defend a pawn other than the move knight d4, which tries to blockade the attacker. But there is rook a4, so you lose this a pawn here. And even if you go rook f4 check, the king goes to e8, so there is no discovered threat. And 3 versus 2, this should not be enough. Okay, so let's see whether the game goes in that direction or not. Rook c4, अरे इतना सारा rook c4, but किधर? I now doubt if this is going to be a long game, because they'll play fast, I think. Yeah, already it's long, that I agree, Gauransh. रुक c4 वाले कौन सा गेम देख रहे हैं भाई? अच्छा, एक ही बंदा टाइप करे अभी रुक c4. ओके, दैट्स द क्वेश्चन हितेन वाज आस्किंग. अभी रुक c4 खेला तो फिर देन तो यू हैव बिशप टेक c5, रुक टेक c5 and rook a4, and this rook endgame is, you don't have to think. Yeah, 3 versus 2. किंग्स काफी पीछे है. This is a very simple rook and book draw kind of a thing. So that would not. So if he plays rook c4, it means it's like a draw offer. Yeah. बाकी क्या चल रहा है guys? Guys, how many of you are, let's say, addicted to social media? Not me. Me. I'm addicted to chess. So addicted to chess on social media. Me, not me. Insta. No, not me. I am me. To chess. Not addicted. But एक बार ओपन किया तो टाइम ले लेता है. So हम says this. Not at all. Hardly check my phone. Srijan. Prabhu says I'm not. I'm not on Insta, Facebook, or Twitter. Okay, I'm on Twitter with 0 followers. YouTube and chess. Sumukh says we are watching chess at 12. You tell me. Maybe YouTube. Okay, not like crazy. Yeah, many of you are not like addicted. It seems like addicted like crazy. Are you addicted to social media? Shashank asks. No, I am. I mean, it has been something like a thing for me to, tell myself to use social media, because I was not at all like I don't use my Facebook. I had Facebook. I had Twitter, but it got hacked, and I was not very active though, but it got hacked. I don't know why. I lost all my followers also. So there is no motivation now. I think I don't even know whether I'm going to post anything. Insta in between, I'm trying, but yeah, I'm not a very big fan of, scrolling on social media. I think it's, for me personally, I don't like that. I think it kind of takes away the feel of life, you can say. Somewhere like it becomes like too much. I don't like it. So I'm trying to improve where I should be using it a little bit consistently. Only a little bit, but consistently. That's what I'm trying to improve. But it's hard for me to be consistent. Hari played. Awesome. Thank you for the update. Bishop b6 and rook c4 was played. Bishop c4, rook c4, bishop c5, rook c5, rook a4, and king f7. Oh, really? Are we at this position? He played knight e6. Very sorry, guys. He played knight e6 check and king f7. So this was the final move which was important for black to play. King f7 and not king f6. That would be a mistake. So that kind of shows that this game should most probably end in a draw. He played knight e6 check. Yeah, he played knight e6. If we try rook e7, king f8, knight d7, king e7, knight b6, is it completely lost in spite of extra 2 points? Rook e7 kya? Wait, I believe you are trying to say here. Rook e7 check. So you are saying king f8, knight d7, king e7, knight b6. This position with exchange down. Oh, this would be a difficult story, because let's say king. Okay, I'm not going to blunder with king d6 because there is knight c4. So king e6. Let's just say king g2. That's a good thing, because you can see my king cannot enter here. There is a barrier in a way. I move the rook. Let's say I move the rook somewhere. Maybe rook a2. You go king f3 here, I go king e5, you go knight c4 check, and if I go something like king d4, knight d6, rook takes a4. So this computer says, I mean apna Mogambo says it's a draw bar wise, and maybe there will be a fortress, the knight will stay at some place, but practically there are decent chances for black. So that's why you don't need to enter. Like, you had the initiative, black was struggling to get a draw, and now it's like you are struggling. So you don't need to get in that pressure situation for sure. Okay, anyway, he played knight f4 in the game. Hari has played knight f4. So black will simply take on f2 right now. He can take on f2. Hikaru drew his game. Vidit drew his game with Aronian. सिंपली बिशप f2 हो जाएगा और ये हाँ हो गया है बिशप f2 हो गया है आई थिंक वी आर गोइंग टू कम टू अ ड्रॉ वेरी सून Krishna Prasad says in less time we can be aware of knight forks by just seeing the colors in which king and rooks are placed. If they are on different colors, no fork is possible. Yes, very true. The only problem is when you are under time pressure, king ko suddenly check aa jata hai and you tend to then go to a square and then you realize, oh my god, it's a fork. Shaurya Damatia, thank you so much. Yes, we have reached 850k. Thanks to all of you. So yeah, I don't know how much to say that Hari had a great chance of winning today. But he definitely had a great chance of really pushing it. At the end of it, we are seeing there are so many subtleties even with this rook and knight. So wasn't so easy. Yeah, he played knight e2 right now. And yeah, this is nothing much. So guys, I think do you think we should wait for the game to end? Devansh Mittal says, can you recommend a book for someone who wants to start from scratch? Yes, definitely. Just today itself, a while ago, Sagar announced a book, The Chess Course by Praful Zaveri. You can check out on ChessBase India's shop. And I think today is the last day of the sale. So for the book, for the discount. So do check it out. It has a lot of things from checkmate patterns to, everything what a beginner needs. So check it out. Wait, okay, let's wait. So Sujit, there are a lot of videos you can find on YouTube where you can learn chess, and there is also something in development. So it's all available there, free. You can learn. Hmm. Certified Genius says it's not easy to make such choices during games. He put his eggs on the A pawn basket rather than on the knight h4, knight f5. Absolutely. These are the tough choices and not easy. Because they don't seem very clear at that point. Chinmay Vatwe, thank you for your super chat. Thanks for your ever energetic commentary. You and Sagar are amazing. It's always a joy watching your videos. Keep on going. Oh, thank you, Chinmay. Thank you very much. Prabodh Prakash asks, hey Amrita, do you know a good book that gradually develops tactics? I've seen books that have pretty simple tactics, that is one move, and then suddenly it requires difficult calculations. Like a level wise, yeah? Level wise, that's a good question because let me think. Because there's woodpecker method, which is really good in tactics, but that is also more about, tactics, and the classics. Those are from the world champion games. So it's all tactical ideas. That's the book. Then I really like my system where you kind of um, level up a bit, but I wouldn't say it's for beginner. Like it's from beginners to intermediate, but it's not just solving again. So pretty simple tactics. That too level wise. Let me think. Maybe tomorrow I'll suggest. Oh, by the way, tomorrow is a rest day. Tomorrow is 8th, right? Yeah. So he played bishop e1 here. They're using all the time. Jitna bhi ho sakta hai. Is the position drawn completely? That's what Ranshu asks. No, completely I wouldn't say, because practically always, anybody can go wrong, and that is the reason. So it's not like you can't make mistakes. You can make mistakes, as we've seen there are subtleties. So Hari ऐसा फटाफट draw agree नहीं करेगा, I believe. But yeah, let's see. But Shirov would not make mistakes anymore because this position is pretty easy for him to defend. Himangosh says, you suppose build up your chess series is a good option. Yeah, that is a very good book. So it has level wise from book 1, book 2, like that 10 series. Yeah, that kind of a thing, I would say. But yeah, that is a good series to solve tactics. And especially in that book, if you're solving, there are positions from openings also. So you'll learn some kind of very important ideas and patterns which will keep happening again and again. That's how he's made. You can also check out a video on this build up wala series. There was a guy, very interesting story, that he for 1 year he was working only on those 10 books with his coach, and how when he played a rating tournament, he was able to perform really well. So yeah, that would be an interesting series. So h5 is played, king g2 h5 right now. How many moves for increment? No, now there won't be increment. I think this is the final thing, like 9 minutes and 15 minutes. So even if you see the king cannot advance, how to improve the king position? It's not possible. Knight right now is a little bit passive. This pawn you cannot promote. What do you do, really speaking? How do you get your king? Like, even if you imagine h4, there is no route from here. g4, oops, g4 is also still, there is a blockade here on the file. I mean, nothing much here. Okay, what if you try to exchange the rooks? Let's try to see this. Rook f4 check, king e6, let's say, and rook f3 if you go. Rook, if he plays rook takes f3, king takes f3, you can see Mogambo khush hua. Because then this pawn is valuable, and these two pawns are already on light squares. So this should be winning. Okay, so that is one, should be winning. So you cannot exchange. Okay, but okay, such a stupid thing, because black can simply take on a4, or can he? Because there is knight f4 check. and you also rook e3 check idea where you will win. And if he goes, let's say, king f6, then it's a mistake. It's a blunder because of, guys, are you alert? What should white play here? What should white play here, guys? I'm giving you a hint. Dark Ego, Ritankar Nath, निखिलेश, श्रेयांश, साहिल, अंकित, अंडा बर्गर, मुकुंदा, सम रैंडम गाय, तरुण। अरे यार, कोई तो मेरे ट्रैप में फंसो। मैंने इतना तो हिंट दिया था, ये पॉन मार्क किया था, नाइट h5 चेक भी था, बट इधर एकदम अलर्ट। एंड नाइट d3 चेक, एवरीबडी इज अलर्ट, विनिंग द पीस, पॉन नहीं चाहिए। प्राउड ऑफ यू गाइज, वेरी वेल डन। पूरा प्लान चौपट हो गया है मेरा। सो या, perfect, very good. And king f6 cannot be played here, that would be a super blunder. I mean, king on f5 cannot be played here, and after knight f4 check, if you go king d6, you can further push the king away, because he again cannot be in the on the e file because of rook e3 check, losing the piece, and the king goes somewhere here, and then you can take the pawn on g6, which will give you pretty decent chances. Actually not really, because only if you win the h5 pawn, which is possible because the king is far away. So this is at least we are coming to a position where white has some chances. It all started with calculating. What did he play? Did he play g4? He played g4 here. So h takes g4 and h takes g4. Okay, now it's going to be no chance, because at any point of time white loses one pawn, black can, I mean, just to tell you, black can just give his bishop for another pawn and etc. But that variation which we were analyzing was very interesting. Yeah, I did think at least somebody will get tricked. Knight h5 एक तो बंदा बोलेगा तभी, पर किसी ने नहीं बोला वैसे, अब भी देख रही हूँ मैं। चिन्मय, थैंक यू फॉर फॉलिंग इनटू द ट्रैप। Yeah, now it is an easy draw. So guys, what is your prediction? कितना टाइम में ये गेम खत्म होगा? मैं ये नहीं पूछ रही हूँ whether it will be a draw or not. How long will this game go on? चिन्मय, आज अच्छे से सो जाना, don't worry, it happens. Abhijit, if you go to the ChessBase India shop and if you see that the chess books are available, then they are. If in case they're out of stock, then maybe आज बहुत लोगों ने लिया रहेगा. 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, 23 minutes. नहीं, 23 minutes तो नहीं चलेगा, ऐसा नहीं लग रहा है. 10 5, another 30 minutes maximum. 5 minutes. Okay, let's be here 5 minutes. Let's see. Guys, it's 12 o'clock. Happy New Day, everyone. Happy New Day. So g4 हुआ है, g4 हुआ है, and king f6 is the move on this new day. King f6. Yeah, guys. So Happy New Day is a very क्या बोलते हैं, term which I keep using it many times at 12 o'clock. Gives some positive vibes. मज़ा आता है, नया दिन शुरू हो जाता है. न्यू ईयर तो एक ही बार विश कर सकता है, न्यू डेट तो एवरी डे विश कर सकता है, न्यू डे का रेजोल्यूशन एवरी डे रख सकता है वैलिडिटी 24 आवर्स. Oh, Ananta, thank you. You're gonna start wishing your family and friends happy new day from now. That's nice. Salila Lenka says love from Odisha. Nice. So Salila, how is it in Odisha? I had heard, like, let's say Padmini, for example, is very famous, and when there are times when she walks on the streets and people recognize her, and it's very nice, very interesting. Also, Debashish Das. Anda burger, what is your new day resolution? The way I do things is before I sleep, I generally send some few tasks to do for the next day, and then based on my mood for the time phase, I try to switch, and then certain random things crop up in between, now which is assumed that they will crop up. So yeah, that's how it goes. So pretty much I try to be in control of my day as much as possible. Prabodh says my resolution for this year is to make resolution for the next year, and resolution, you're carrying it for many years. So if it is 1 year, then it's a very long period and the resolution is not motivating. Try it only one day, Prabodh. Only today, have a resolution and try to see if you can do it. And then if it works, maybe you can try it again tomorrow. And if, let's say, you are able to do it for 21 days, maybe it becomes a habit. Padmini ma'am is very much famous. And don't forget about GM Swayam sir. Yes, absolutely. Swayams, Debashish, Padmini. You can play bullet till the match ends. यहाँ पे ही बट अलग बोर्ड शुरू करना पड़ेगा. Sanu Kumar says, I started to get interested in chess after watching ChessBase India stream. Thank you. Awesome, Sanu. Keep playing. What if the knight is sacrificed for the pawn? Draw हो जाएगा. Already draw है. Guys, जिन्होंने 5 मिनट बोला था, आपका प्रेडिक्शन गलत हो चुका है. I think there was one guy who said 23 minutes. Maybe he's going to be right. So 12 बज गए and oh, it's 8th. Actually, today was 7th. Yeah, I kind of forgot because on 7th we had a party in Mumbai, the wedding party, and there, if you guys have seen Sagar's Instagram post last year, I think he had put the dance. He has put a dance, so that should put it on ChessBase India clips maybe. Have to see. That could be interesting. Okay, knight f4 he played right now. Any subtle threats which black must take care? Not really. He can simply attack the knight because this rook end game would be a draw. So that is an option. Okay, guys, this is going to be a draw. I don't know how long they are going to play, but 100% it is going to be a draw. I mean, if I wake up tomorrow and if I see the result otherwise, it would be very shocking. That's not going to happen. So let's see. We'll end the stream. Maybe before ending the stream, I will try, but I don't like to play bullet here on Sagar's laptop with this, this whole mouse setup. Somehow I'm not very comfortable. Yet I'll try one game, only one game. Flashbin Gaming says rook e6 check is the idea. Rook e6 check with the idea of rook g6. Yeah, so what are you going to do for bishop d2? Because the problem is if you go rook e6, king g5, and rook g6 is not possible. And if you go knight g6, there is king g4. This will end in a draw. Bullet, bullet, bullet. Let's go for bullet. One bullet. Let's go. Very sorry, Hari, but I'm assuming this is going to be a draw. So, but I'll check your result. One second, guys. There, I have to switch off the engine and everything. I don't know. Okay, let's start. Play. Create a game. Bullet. Oops. D4, Primus, Amrita, Primus, Super Primus. Please make a lot of Primus. Thank you. Thank you very much. Forty-five seconds. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, guy, there is no back rank mate. You missed it. Awesome, I've won, guys. I've won. That is so cool. I'm gonna play another game. I mean, until I lose, yeah. That's what we do. Pre-moves. Yeah, I did try a lot of pre-moves. Let's play one more. Oh god, I don't know. Simple, stupid mistake. There was. Okay, hello. Blunder, 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 blunder. Arre, 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 arre. Oh no. अरे क्वीन करो. मेरी क्वीन नहीं हो रही है भाई. चेक. अरे क्वीन. Wow, shit, man, that was ridiculous, horrible. हाँ, you couldn't see my clock. अरे यार, फिर तो कुछ मजा ही नहीं है. Shit. Sorry guys. ठीक है, let's just check Hari's result. Finally, what has happened? Broadcasts. FIDE Grand Prix. Oopsie. Hari and oh, they're still playing. Bishop a5. Oh, without this thing, how were you able to see, or you were not able to see the clock at all? Because it was a very crazy end game. You know why I was not queening? Because I was not confident that whenever I'll say queen, and then it will pop up, and then I'll be able to click, and I don't know how much time I have. So I was just playing. That was a major problem. So it was important to see the clock, which I was not able to bring on the board. Very sorry, guys. I don't know. You can check the events. I'm not really sure about Odisha. Maybe you can find it out online on our calendar. G. Oh, that was a bad game, guys. That was a bad game which I played. ठीक है, ये लोग अभी तक खेल रहे हैं. So the guy definitely who mentioned 23 minutes. Awesome. One more bullet. Bishop a5. We can't see the bar because the bar is off. Yeah. Now maybe you can see the bar. Pura equal hai, guys. So I think I'll be going right now, and it was a great time to catch up with you all. So let us end the stream. We'll see you, I think, tomorrow. There will be some stream for sure. I don't know what, but yeah. Shritu says Mogambo is still drawish. Yes. But day after definitely will be there, and मजा करेंगे साथ में. Until that time, guys, play chess, have fun, stay addicted to chess, enjoy करो, get the maximum happiness while playing chess. Alright, bye bye, see you, time to leave and end the stream.